Ahoy, wonders, and welcome back to the table. Good to be back. Good to be here.
Yes.
I'm nursing a headache. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing okay. Had a longer day than expected. Was gonna go get some blood work done at the doctor's office, but the person who was like the lab tech or whoever that was supposed to take my blood had like a family emergency like 10 minutes before I came in, so they had to reschedule it.
So we're gonna need your blood.
Yeah, I guess.
Can you just bring in a jar when you got the free time?
I'm like, so what should I do? They're like, well, we don't know when she'll be back, so would you like to reschedule? I guess.
Can I just leave some?
You don't have a person who can
here's
just
a jar
like,
of
do
leeches.
this?
Here's a jar of leeches. We'll let you go to the bathroom.
That is interesting. I've never really thought about that at the doctor's office. If like the blood tech has to leave, is there literally nobody else there that
like
is
I don't know if it's like a licensing
allowed
thing
to take your blood?
Like I don't know what the rules are.
I've had my blood drawn by nurses a lot.
Same.
Is there like a specific certification that they need?
At the office I go to, they have like a separate company that does like the lab side of things. I guess
usually it's like Quest Diagnostics is what I.
I'd assume hematology has a bit of a subsector that like is different on par of your regular doctor.
I have to assume that's the case. Like, studying the blood,
Yeah.
sure. Like, I'm not going to be able to look at this, but here you go. I'm going to stick that needle in there
I can
and
still
pull it
gather
out.
this for you, but I don't know. They seem short-staffed today or something. But
all I'm saying is, if I were given like the know-how, I could probably cultivate some blood. I can probably draw some.
seems like it wouldn't be that tough,
Yeah,
theoretically.
you'd think.
But
I don't know.
Exactly.
I did not go to school for that. I went to I went to school and I majored in theater, which is why I don't have a diploma currently, because that is a silly move.
I beg to differ. Have you seen the piece of paper that's on my wall? It has several different colors of ink.
that must have been very expensive to print.
I can only assume.
To print it cost about $200,000.
I was gonna make a crack about how I had to draw up my own because I went to art school, but
You get to make your own diploma.
yeah. $250,000 later in debt. Here you go.
We have opinions on things that you may or may not know. Anyway. So, have we officially joined the Adventurers Guild? Like, is that?
No,
is that,
they're still working that around, but since
I expect you to be like, no, fill out this.
oh no.
Like the rest of our crew is busy doing that.
Yeah, they're doing that. You guys, since you're the captain and you kind of vouch for these three, since you kind of all have been on board with this whole thing with the Volition, they kind of just went, all right, these three have their own agendas and everything needs to be put
Somehow
together.
the only overwhelmingly positive reports that just get us through the process are us three. Apparently Red really liked us more than everyone else.
Oh man, Ezra and Eloy, they did so much. What about their? What about that other guy that tags along with them? I guess.
I mean, he was always there. You could say that.
He resolved a lot of issues that he started.
She just looks over. She's like, "Can you hand me those pliers?" Yeah, it's a really glowing recommendation.
Maybe she thinks that Wake would do better with guild oversight than just let loose to do as he will. Maybe
Ooh,
that's
Yeah, if Wake just swims loose into the ocean, God only knows what'll happen.
Barnacle Bay all over again.
We need someone watching him.
Hey guys, look what I found.
He's just a loose cannon.
But god damn it, he gets results.
Give him his guild badge.
I found that vampire great white we saw. Woo!
He's
my new student.
Yeah, he's covered in nothing but cuts. Oh fuck!
He cannot go above a certain level of the water while the sun is out. It's a little awkward, but
Now Wake, he's dumping vampire blood into the ocean. He's infecting everyone.
Then you just watch as a bunch of bloaterfish come out at night.
little do you know, it's Wake's devious plan to make his Ash Drake fan fiction a reality.
When I get slew by the Asterix.
They must fight an army of my vampire sharks.
You're the Mr. Glass of this campaign.
Kids used to laugh at him.
Okay, so last we left off, you guys pretty much were given lodgings to stay for the night. The Volition has asked, hey, just pal around the town for a little bit while we get your paperwork done, and also, hey, you could find a new crew, get yourself established to find out that now you have a place to live. You can set up your base of operations here. We know you have dealings with the pirates, and now you also have dealings with the Navy. So
I think first things first, we have to deal with the Yeldon's funeral.
Oh, they're still working on that because they still haven't gotten all your equipment out yet.
I figured that would be our job, but yeah, that works for me.
Well, we'll see because it's still like the morning of.
It's been a very long day.
Yeah. You guys get your rest. Everyone like gets to bunk out in some of the other people's like establishments. Some people get to go to a guild hall. Some people like get to just chill at Risk and Pliskin's place for a night.
Party!
Yep.
Woo!
Yeah, they pretty much like say like, you know what? It's like they have said like it was a long fucking journey, but I think like at least something's in order to like get everyone a little bit of a rest, or at least to kick off a small like thank you for at least getting us back here or whatnot. So
everyone is alive and on solid land again.
Everyone.
There were moments.
Everyone
who's here is alive.
Everyone who survived the island and the
Everyone who's made it
storm
this far is
giant.
alive and back on this island. And you know what? Hey,
everyone.
let's just throw that Gulfer might just be the little the little coda that everyone needed to realize they should get back to land and maybe celebrate when they get there.
Yeah.
Because every day is a gift, it turns out.
Turns out the journey was a bit more dangerous than we anticipated. Ran into a few dragons, got on the bad side of some people, but you know what?
It occurred to them
There's
once
a
we made
fucking-
landfall that they had avoided death.
There's a cult of vampires that may or may not be searching for you guys.
You never know.
For some reason specifically.
So with that, you guys pretty much just celebrate the night. You guys get yourself some food, water, drink. Everyone's having a rip-roaring good time.
Water sounds good.
There's a knock on the door for the building that you guys are staying in, and there's that same halfling woman is actually there looking for you, Ezra.
Okay, I kind of poke my head out. Hi, what's going on?
I poke my head out. New house, who dis?
Good morning, Mr. Lockwood. We'd like to at least let you know, since you were conducting I said was about to say interrogations. You were conducting.
More or less.
God damn it. You are conducting interviews. We would like to let you know that there is a longer opening for this morning, should you so choose to go out and do some more interviews for more crew members.
Oh, well, that is something I should definitely be doing.
Well, we gave you the list. You know who is available. If you would like to speak to your crew for a little bit before you have to go conduct them.
Sure.
We will give you the time you need. Please be at the guild hall within the hour.
You got it. I will definitely be there, Ezra says.
She nods and just gives you a courtesy bow and then just turns around and walks back to the guild hall.
Didn't even introduce herself. That was a little weird. Okay, I'm gonna go.
I'm
gonna go cook some eggs.
Well, no, it's you guys are pretty much now getting your breakfast going. Risk and Pliskin sitting there, Risk just eating like a mountain of silver dollar pancakes.
Now, who's cooking? Is Grammy here?
No, Grammy is not here. This is Pliskin at this point.
Ah, okay.
I made eggs.
You can assist. It's fine. Do you want to? You know what?
Let's fucking do it.
Roll
for eggs.
Roll.
Nat 20 eggs.
God damn it!
All right. Man, these eggs are spectacular. I don't know who made them, but great job. Your captain feels delighted at these eggs.
These eggs are good enough for a god.
But only Grammy could make one good enough for a devil.
It's true.
You look outside the window.
Up.
It's true.
I'll never measure up.
So now we're at the pretty much the breakfast table. Everyone's getting their anti-scurvy juice in them. OJ.
All right. Ezra's continuing to mull over who we should interview next. Just trying to make sure he gets,
You guys have your list in front of you, so you
Yeah.
can see which ones you want. You did. You had interviewed.
Soup Kitchen and Magic Bill.
Yep. So those can be checked
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, I've got notes on my paper about things that they said.
If you'd like
So
to
I can-
actually discuss the notes with
so I
everyone
can
else
keep
here, you
track
can.
of that. Well, as I had told them before, Magic Bill explained that he didn't have any junk experience since I was interviewing him as a helmsman. So he is not entirely familiar with the type of vessel we have. However, he does seem very confident that he could learn it. That said, he was also not too shy about the fact that he thinks that Umlaut, the other helmsman candidate, is a better helmsman. He just lacks the magical skills that he has. And as the guild has been very quick to point out, if you hire him as a helmsman, if he does any magic stuff, you're going to be getting charged extra. So think
He's
about that.
That's a modest man, right there. You gotta admire the modesty.
Yeah, he was.
Modesty, nothing, says Pliskin. That's guild rule.
It's one
No,
of those.
I meant like him saying that this other dude's better.
Yeah, he made it clear that he was like, hey, Umlaut's probably the better helmsman, but my magic is real good. So it could come in handy in a pinch. Just know that you're going to be paying for that handiness.
Well, that makes sense, Risk is saying as he's like stuffing a pancake into his mouth. We're... Oh, pardon me. He like swallows. He's like not talking with his mouth full.
Thank you, Riz.
You're welcome. It's not a shock that most people around here kind of know each other. At one point, I'm sure most of us here who have at least lived a year or two have worked alongside each other in some job.
I've been wondering, are there like other places where, this hall exists, like other locations where...
Oh, yes. Normally, since this one's so close to South Zealous, this is like the hub. However, if you were to say, I don't know, go to Silvergleam, there might be one just outside of the town. There's always one near a very big port city for the Navy.
So I'm guessing Ebercall might be close to one, or...
Ebercall, I've never heard of a branch existing there. If there was, we would have asked for lodging there while we were visiting. Probably one somewhere along the archipelago.
Wait, we haven't been to Ebercall yet, have we? We got to...
I'm sorry, I thought you... Oh, geez. Yeah, Bolcard. There's none near Bolcard. I've never heard of one near Ebercall. But I wouldn't be shocked if there were other ones closer in the archipelago, just not close to Ebercall.
How does
Just scattered places.
you guys have been here for a while, and you are, by your demeanor, you've mentioned some extra legal activities. Do they frown upon piracy here, or...
Pliskin and Rift look to each other.
They seem to be pretty tight with the Navy since they're in every naval port.
We all have our secrets sometimes, Wake. If there is, it's off the record.
Gotcha. I just figured with Gore being among their ranks, it'd probably be a little messy.
Well,
Yeah.
of course, near the headquarters, we kind of like try not to keep our side projects as close to the chest as possible, and not, the phrase "loose lips sink ships."
Yes, I do now.
He has been made aware.
I thought dead dwarves sunk ships.
That too.
Too
apparently.
soon?
Maybe.
Sorry.
Well, no, it's not the dead dwarf that sunk the ship. It's the ship that's no longer
In any
alive.
case, we like to keep our secrets to ourselves. We like to keep some secrets to ourselves, and the guild is fairly okay in that regard, considering that as long as, we're not trying to be spies for the onrush or anything.
Fair enough.
Makes sense.
We're all, from the way we look at it, we're kind of all on this same spectrum. We kind of all want to make sure that, like, the onrush doesn't come back again or something. It's just that, unfortunately, the Navy is a lot more protective in their traditions to make sure that nothing is brewing and a new onrush is just begging to be made, while the pirates seem that it's well suited to create new technology to fight against it, but sometimes that can also be used for ill gain. Just because the Grand Design pirates are all working together doesn't mean there are pirates who work in the same sector or work for the same goal.
Sounds about right.
Basically, they all want the same thing. It's just the Navy's a bit more totalitarian about it. They want to keep hold of all the technology and be the ones deciding who gets to use what. Meanwhile, the pirates, a bit more chaotic, and maybe things will slip through the cracks and problems might arise, but people are, more free to do what they want.
That's how Barnacle Bay happens, says Pliskin.
Look, I just want to make sure that if we accept Lieutenant Gore's gracious gift of the ship, that we're not tied into the government.
That is a good point.
Because, if we have to go out there and find ourselves another ship that's not running Navy colors,
Yeah, he'd probably get a little upset if we accepted the ship and then tore all the flags off of it.
Yeah,
If you word it correctly, says Pliskin, you might actually get away with being yourselves as privateers.
That's what we've been so far, I think.
That's how we.
Right
a
now,
more
right now, technically, we're couriers. I say,
Yeah.
looking at my pillow.
Could Scrum, like, apply for a license to get, like, a really cool gun arm, or how does that work?
Yeah, like, where does technology and fake limbs come in?
I'm real hyped up about this gun arm idea.
I mean, prosthetics are a real thing. There's a couple of people you actually saw at the guild hall that actually had prosthetics. You just wouldn't be able to tell without looking deep into it. Whereas a swivel gun arm, that sounds kind of a little high up the technology ladder that the Navy might squint at it. Though we have actually, well, you've seen a couple of Warforged walk around, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
I met one.
that's essentially switching out a gun for anything else.
So all we have to do is just tell them that Scrung's a Warforged, and maybe we can get away with this.
I don't.
He could be half Warforged.
Yeah.
Maybe his mom was a bucket.
We don't know his background.
Well, you say that. We probably could walk away with that, but we'd have to pull some very high strings to get some Warforged tech to put on a
Well, it just so
biological
happens
person.
that I interviewed one soup kitchen, and who knows, maybe an accident.
I'm just saying.
I kid, says Ezra before finishing his thought.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
For the right price.
I just don't want to,
Get in trouble for it.
yeah.
So long
Make
as
things
you,
awkward.
so long as you're putting in paperwork describing what you want, I'm sure the Navy can accommodate in some way. Probably not the best way, like stuff you find outside, but you'll get something.
Well, maybe what we should tell Scrung to do while he's filling out his paperwork is to also fill out some sort of application for this and just recommend and ask for a very customizable, prosthetic hand. And
Well,
then,
the moment he's going to join the guild, they're going to fix him up anyway. Everyone has some kind of doctor, at least holding off to one sector around here.
All right, well, maybe he can figure out what'll work best for him and be able to solve the most problems there.
Either way, he probably won't be dealing with his primary issues until he's got that sorted out.
Yeah, it's going to make traveling a little bit more difficult until he gets that stuff figured out anyway.
Meanwhile, we still have that whole issue with that potential threat from that lamprey dude.
Oh, yeah, our vampire doctor man?
Yeah, Morgan, I think, was his name. Gustav.
I
don't
wrote
know.
it down somewhere, but yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Unfortunately, Risp and Pliskin are just sitting there looking at you like, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a little busy kicking a ghost hologram thing that I think I caught the name.
Oh, you mean Marcellus. He was leader of the Lampreys, dabbled in necromancy. I believe that's the one you were thinking of.
Maybe. I know there was a Gustav Morgan mentioned.
Also sounds familiar.
If you want to roll a knowledge check to
18.
8.
Negligible.
You remember that Gustav was one of his, Marcellus was a very brilliant surgeon before he became a vampire, and Gustav is one of his assistants, so he's like another scientist that works under Marcellus.
Okay.
Ah, gotcha.
I was thinking big, big bad. You were thinking big bad.
Yeah,
Got
we
it.
still don't really know what they're up to.
Oh, yeah.
Do
There's
you know who might? Who might? Grammy. Let me ask you a question again, Ezra. Do you know who might?
Listen, this sounds like a Drake idea, but
Come on, Ezra, you know what?
I mean, we can certainly ask them, and if you would like to do that while I'm doing interviews.
Done! He doesn't actually rush out. He's getting ready for his day.
But he's excited for a date with his heroes. This
So-
still leaves the question, though. I'll be leaving for interviews here shortly, and I'm assuming I'll only be able to interview 2, maybe 3 people.
You are allotted 4 at this
4.
point.
Wow. Well, that's still our list has more than 4 people on it, so I'm not going to be hitting everybody.
I can hit a few.
I mean, I
not
know
in the
you
way that-
could, but I don't think that's how it works. Do either of you guys know?
Pliskin just chuckles and just taking a drag of a cigarette. I'm sure they'll hit you back.
I'm going to do a real quick knowledge check on if Ezra is familiar with bugbears. Because me as a human being player am not. 17.
Bugbears? So, on the totem pole when it comes to humans, there's dwarf, then human, then, Goliath.
Yes, our fantasy cast system.
Yeah, our fantasy cast system, it kind of goes, yeah. And then they're by Fey standards, since you're a half elf.
Yes.
It would be like gnome, which is small elf, half elf, elf, based on size.
Right.
So it goes from the totem pole of small, medium to large. Think of that for goblins, where it's goblin, hobgoblin, bugbear.
Okay,
so you're
it's just
pretty
a
much
big goblin.
Yeah, the gargantuan type of
Gotcha.
of goblin.
Okay.
Neither bugs nor bears.
I don't know. Does anyone on the crew have problems with bugbears? I'm thinking of interviewing this Mr. Large because he seems to be able to apply for a couple things.
Risk kind of just looks left and right. Truth be told, I kind of had a trouble with Scrum.
Really?
Well, he's mean.
I mean, yes, but his surly disposition comes with
He used to put his cigarettes out in my food.
it comes with that
You did
I was
that,
heckin' mad about that. Oh, sorry for the language.
You did that to me too. I thought it just added flavor. It was not great, but I thought it was.
You're
custom.
a merfolk, though. You're
What's that supposed to mean?
you're a shark. You eat anything.
No, I don't eat my broccoli.
Not even if it's the secret ingredient that day?
No, Grammy got mad at me.
Ezra just shrugs. Scrung's got like that, kind of, I guess, charm that makes you want him to stick around. Ezra flailing for a way to defend
Meanwhile,
Scrung.
there's
So
like
he's
Riz sitting in his seat, like with his arms folded, waiting for that answer.
Now, charm seems like a funny way to say constant nagging guilt that you screwed up his one chance to get the only thing he wants in this whole world.
Maybe that's your reason for wanting him to stick around.
Yeah, that 100% is. It eats away at me, Ezra.
This is what haunts him.
I ruined his life.
It defines his soul.
No, you see, I think Scrung's life was... looks over at Scrung, realizing that we're just talking frankly about him in front of
He's
his
not
face.
there.
Okay, good. He just
Looks over at where Scrung could be.
Yeah. Ensures that Scrung isn't there to be hurt within earshot. Look, here's
No.
the thing. I don't think you ruined Scrung's life. I think Scrung's life was already ruined. He saw maybe a tunnel out, and you just put a big block in front of that tunnel. It's not so much that you actively ruined his life, Ezra, or Eloy. It's more that...
Whoa, projection.
Maybe. Just a bit. It's more that you pushed him away from a way out of ruining his life, which is a totally different ball of wax entirely.
Hey, can I borrow your whetstone? Because my knife won't split a hair that fine, no how.
Look, all I'm saying is I don't think he blames you today. He may have blamed you in that moment, but I don't think he thinks about it as regularly as you might.
I think about it every waking second.
You're not here, Scrum.
He does have that centaur-shaped dartboard in his room. It's not...
That could be for any sense.
It's true.
Well, I mean,
I got one for equine centaurs.
There you go.
did you upgrade it to axes like he did?
Oh my.
So I'm going to say, so you guys can take a look at the list and just so I can prep for this.
I get
Who
you.
would you like to interview, or at least like to see would be a best fit for your ship?
I'm thinking Mr. Large.
As we've discussed previously, the most important things we need are somebody that can repair a boat and somebody that can drive it. I
Right.
mean, I can learn. How hard could it be to steer a boat?
We can.
I did it once.
You did?
Yeah.
A boat's not a ship, though, says Pliskin.
I mean, true.
Yeah, but I didn't run us into like a sea giant or anything.
Well, we have for repairs a quartermaster. I think would probably be all right at that.
That's a weapons master.
Is that a weapons guy?
That's the guy who makes sure that law and order is aboard a ship.
Oh, well, okay. So
Well,
he's
that's
the
my
enforcer.
job.
All right, well then then that makes that a less important job for me to worry about. Cannoneer, Mr. Large, still holds that one down if I want to talk to him about it. Helmsman, we've already interviewed Magic Bill. We can check on Umlaut, the person he says would actually be probably a better helmsman, if, in all honesty.
Have we talked to any of these boatswains?
We have not, and that was going to be my next question. We've met Doc. He seems like a cool guy, but I have not actually properly interviewed him.
And then there's Relief that we met on the island.
Yeah, he made me these. Holds up his tiger skin gauntlets.
He never gave us the things that we were supposed to get.
That's
Maybe
right.
you could ask him
I
about
was going
that.
to say, maybe that can be one of our interview questions. So yeah, we'll throw Relieve on that list. I want to talk to Relieve. I want to talk to Mr. Large. And we got 2 more that we can do. We could probably use a surgeon. Seems like something that would be useful. Since we've met, as far as I know, neither of these. Do we want to interview both of them just so we have a good idea of who we've got to pick from as far as surgeon? Because,
I mean, so long as Risf is entirely sure that he'll be staying here,
he seems like he
Looks
needs a
over.
break.
unless he's feeling the spirit of adventure. Maybe.
Risf is shaking his head, and the captain will deem that as him bowing out of this journey.
I need a break.
It's like,
For now.
I need a me day.
He has
can you
encountered.
turn your head like that again real fast? It's like a strobe light.
If he does it quick enough, it looks like one shade.
God damn it. I can't tell
Risf
if I'm
has-
supposed to yield or wait. The light's broken.
Risf has had a long leg of the journey with us. He can sit out for a
I'd
little
like to
bit.
actually see what all this truly does mean.
Naturally, we'd love to travel along with you and help you find that, but I understand. Sometimes you just gotta have these journeys of self-discovery. If that's the case, then all right. Then I think
Then the 2 surgeons.
the 2 surgeons make the most sense to me, because every other job we have people who can cover it. Maybe not at the best of our abilities, but can.
But do remember, I will say this just for meta purposes as well. These characters you pick, not only do they do a certain job for your ship, but they're also combat capable.
Yeah. Yeah, which is important. That's part of what I think about with old Bill, since he was very he's like I'm a good helmsman. I can figure it out. Umlaut would be better, but boy, check out this magic book I wrote and all these other magic things I can
I
do.
can summon things from ethereal planes.
Yeah, and in combat, that seems like it might be helpful. More helpful than this male human who has not so far talked about it. I haven't heard any of his skills with, say, a weapon or gun.
Dude, Pliskin's right here.
I'm not saying Pliskin would probably
He throws
have
an egg at
were-shark
you.
in his description
I
somewhere.
catch it in my mouth, or I attempt to.
Acrobatics.
Well, with my new staff, that's a modified 20.
Whatever.
Ah, Shell's great. Shell, yeah.
So I think that means...
Brian just going, oh.
So we're going to have Relieve. Was it Relieve that we wanted to talk to? Who
Well,
was
you said Relief was one of them.
Okay, yeah.
It
Yeah.
was Relief, Mr. Large, and if you want to do the 2 surgeons, it's Vars Melittus and Frita Kasimar.
Okay.
Healing song.
Thanks, Eloy.
Healing song.
You do have that very good healing song, which does make surgeons...
Ah, yes, you're
slightly-
right. We'll see what the bard can do.
Songs, good point. We should check on Montgomery.
So you do want to do those?
I think so, even though Eloy brings up the very valid point of his skills being helpful. Having someone for medical checks just in general would be nice.
Alrighty. So at this juncture, I would say the other 2 would have to get off the stage. But before we do that, I'd like to also ask, what exactly would you 2 like to do during this time period?
Bards College.
Wake
See
is
ya.
going to visit the Ashdrakes or see if he can get, an audience.
Trying to find the Ashtrakes in town. Very well.
Yeah, I hear they live nearby.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
You just gotta do some investigation.
Well, Wake will put on his little duck hat and do some snooping then.
All right.
Terrific.
So, With that, I'm going to ask you two to please step off stage for a sec.
All right.
Toodles.
So with that, you three go off on your own separate little ways after eating breakfast. You return to the guild hall with some notepads and everything at the ready. Mm-hmm. You return to the same room. The gnome lady, not the gnome lady, I'm sorry, the halfling woman kind of like ushers you in, lets you take the seat, and you give her the list of people you would like to actually interview. Mm-hmm. The first person to come in at this juncture is Relieve.
All right.
He notices you. He like kind of just like, you can't tell, like beady little black eyes, vacant stare. Just kind of like you watch his tongue flicks in and out.
I nod my head. Hello, nice to see you again, Relief.
Yes, good job. Thank you. Again, remember, this poor guy doesn't really have the best common, so he kind of like takes a seat.
I nod my head and go, Don't feel bad about your dialect. It's fine. I'm sure I'll be able to. We'll find common ground and be able to understand each other. What matters to me is you impressed me when we met each other. You seem to be very skilled, both as just a resourceful being and able to not only think clearly and just have good strategies when we were talking about dealing with the monsters around your area, but also just you were a leader. Your people seem to listen to you and understand you, and that means a lot to me. So I just wanted to ask, as a boatswain, what do you think would be some of your greatest strengths in this position?
He like looks down at his pockets. He like kind of like pulls out his tool set. He kind of shows you like all of his tools and then a bunch of dynamite in one slot.
Okay. I point at the dynamite. This seems dangerous to carry around on a boat.
Disassemble.
That is true. It is a strong disassembly tool. I can't deny that.
Sometimes pieces not able to easily take down. Sometimes force need.
It is true. Sometimes the blast of dynamite is the only force that will get two pieces separated.
Relieve, not very smart in making, but knows how to use, knows how to put back together, make things better.
Okay. So you might not be able to create entirely new things, but you can rearrange pieces to make them better operate?
Relieve has worked on boats before, but Relieve also a much better crafter of materials needed for others. More like clothing, like back on island.
Yes, I actually recognized your skills with that. So you're saying that your skills at repairing boats and putting together boats might not be quite as strong as your clothing skills?
I can do any job that require to build up.
Okay.
To craft more personal than vessel.
Okay.
He's trying so hard to get the point across.
Yeah.
Do you want to roll an insight check to see if you can read that?
Yeah, I was going to say if I can do an insight check to get a better idea of what he's trying to say. With a nat 20, I have a feeling I'll understand just fine.
With a nat 20, he's saying that he's confident in his abilities to actually like build up so long as like someone has the plans to show him. He needs reference to get his work done for things that he's not capable of. But for the most part, if he needs to wrap his brain around something that has to get done quickly, he knows how to hodgepodge it together as a temporary solution more than a permanent solution.
Okay. So he can probably MacGruber his way out of things, but as far as being like, hey, I got this broken boat, can you put it back together? I don't have any pictures or anything to show you how.
He's very good at MacGyvering his way out of a situation. Not so much making it pretty, but making it work.
Okay. Well, that's fine with me. I basically go like, what about if we're on the boat and we're attacked? How are you in combat? Are you able to defend yourself?
You just watch as his face like goes from stoic to like just this big fucking
teeth.
Giant grin, and his tongue kind of like flicks out. You know what Relieve is?
I know you're a Komodo dragon.
Yes. Relieve venomous spit.
That would come in handy.
Kill prey faster and silent and more efficient in such way.
It's true. You could. That would be good for
Also,
sneaking.
he like pulls out a small dagger. He kind of like laps his tongue on it, and you watch as the saliva drips down it. Poison weapon.
Now that could really come in handy in a fight. Next question, very important. What's your going rate? How much do you charge us?
Let me get that here.
Ezra like playfully just kind of nudges him. I'm sure we get friend prizes with all the help we've given you, but just be honest with me.
Relieve ask 500.
500 a week?
Yes. May some find unreasonable, but relieve need money.
You know what? That's true. I understand that.
So you can, if you want to roll another insight to see if he's like trying to fuck you on his price. He's trying to con you, or if he's being legit.
Slightly less good. 12.
12? Let me roll something. Yeah. Okay. The way Relieve is like trying to describe it to you, he doesn't look like he's trying to grasp at a price for like a harder reason, or like a reason that kind of like looks like shady. He's just like, he knows it's very.
Look, I'm hard on my luck. I need everything I can get.
Yeah,
so
he's pretty much telling you like, look, man, times are tough. I need the money.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't like a scam. This isn't no, you're getting a deal for this. He's like, look, I know it's expensive, but it's also expensive to live.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's fine. We can definitely discuss that. I'm trying to think of other questions that would be good for. How are you on? If we were in a situation where the ship needed repairs, how are you on gathering materials for repairing ships? Would that be something that we could trust you to be able to do? Would you need?
Relieve has mined. Relieve has constructed. Relieve knows when materials are low where to get materials.
Okay, good. That is that's important.
So you can tell he prides himself as a gatherer. Like, he was very confident in the way he like picked up on that. He's just like, oh, finding stuff, yeah, I could do that.
Next question. We have quite the eclectic group on our ship. Are there any dietary concerns? Is there anything that you can or can't eat that might cause a stir?
You have meat?
We should have meat. So far we have.
Then Relieve is fine.
Excellent. Good to hear. All right. I guess the last question is going to be a question I'll probably ask most of the applicants. I'm sure you've seen the list of applicants. Is there anyone on this list that you just absolutely can't work with? That you either have bad history with, you like they've cheated you, you've cheated them, etc. Just something where you don't get along.
The bullman of Venos and Claris.
Okay. Not a fan of Venus and Claris.
None should be fan. He's cursed.
You don't say.
Any ship Bull step on becomes cursed. Things move. People fall off ship. Winds take a gust to other places. He is an ill omen.
Is this just you're saying no one should be a fan, so as in like this is just a known thing that has gone around that people are...
Relieve has heard rumors, but Relieve has seen firsthand. Relieve
Okay.
have worked with this man of Varos and Claris.
Okay. Well, I will make sure to make a note of that.
He makes Relieve feel ill being near him.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Relieve. One last question. Wake and myself had this is actually fairly unrelated to the Adventurers Guild stuff, but we had commissioned clothes from you, and we were wondering what kind of timetable we were looking at for those.
Did not Onslow give?
I don't believe he did. But I'll ask him just to
Relieve
be
gave
sure.
materials to Onslow.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Relieve. I will be sure to pass that along to everyone who needs to know. And you've been a great interview. Thank you for your time.
He like nods his head and turns around and walks out. Next on your list is Mr. Large. Mr. Large, would you please come down this way? You don't hear anything.
Okay.
You hear the sound of gusting wind, but but you look to the side and the window's not open.
Well, that's strange.
You look back in front of you. There is a tall person sitting at the table. So let me explain this man to you. He is when I say tall, his head touches the ceiling.
Okay.
So when you turn around to look at the chair, you're looking at a man
See
at
like
his
a
stomach
torso.
length.
Yeah.
He's got it's a striped shirt, little suspenders, kind of like, you know how like your typical Amish kind of person kind of wears.
Oh man, this guy's winning me over just by
So
looks.
he has a striped shirt, kind of like button-down suspenders, black suit. It's all cuffed and torn at the bottom where his knees are. His knees kind of extend and almost touch where the desk is that you're sitting at. His arms are so lanky that his hands have to knuckle almost like a gorilla's along the floor, and his hands are bigger than your chest. You can't see his face because his entire sideburns are like covering down into this giant beard combo, and he's wearing a straw hat that you can't see his face.
All right.
And you would think that being able, like this, what I just described to you, is you should have been able to see this guy walk in.
I was gonna say, I'm very
This guy
impressed with this
blinked
man's
in.
stealth.
It's like he's a fucking ghost. He just appeared in the seat.
Mr. Large, I presume?
He lifts his hand up and you hear the sound of stone creaking. He gives you the okay sign with his fingers.
Not
And
a
as he moves his hand down, it makes the gentle whooshing noise of gusting wind.
not a big talker, are we?
Shakes his head no. He shakes his head no, and you hear the gust of wind and the churning of stone. He does hold up his finger, though. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small little notepad and starts scribbling. He turns it around, and it says, "No, sir, I am mute," in the most elegantly put script you've ever seen anyone write.
Okay. Mr. Large, I'm here to interview you today for the position of cannoneer. Was wondering, so what sort of experience do you have? How long have you been cannoneering?
Turns it back around, starts writing into it. He turns it around. It's a very, very well-drawn version of a cannon. It looks like a very standard cannon, but it actually looks like you're looking at a photo of one. And he writes down, it says underneath it, "I have manned cannons for more than 5 years."
Okay. 5 years of on-the-job experience. That sounds like quite a bit. Very useful. Now I have to be upfront with you, Mr. Large. Your disability here, you're being mute. Has that in your experience come up and caused difficulties in journeys? Like, has that made things more troublesome?
Scribble. Turns it around. While not well versed in speaking common, I can speak goblin fluently.
Okay, that.
I understand and can write common. I just cannot speak it.
Okay, that helps a lot because a big issue I could see is being a cannoneer would involve a lot of yelling and a lot of communicating what you're doing. And while your handwriting is honestly superb and very eloquent, it would be very tough in the heat of battle to be cannoneer. What are we doing? And you just hold something up. Hopefully, we can have other people who can speak Goblin. And
He continues to write. He continues to write again. I assure you that my inability to speak will not hinder my job.
Excellent.
Given an order, I can execute it. And some have also claimed that I might be a ghost at that job.
I was going to say you snuck in here with honestly borderline unbelievable expertise with your large frame and your kind of lanky body. It's very impressive that you were able to come in here undetected.
I get that a lot.
I'm curious. Is this a skill that you've also just been practicing along with your cannoneering? Have you always been this stealthy, or is this something that you've had to learn due to just life experience?
I've lived a hard life as an enslaved goblin. Yes, my stealth has. I'm sorry, I'm cutting him
Yeah.
off. he explains to you in his writing. I'll just explain it.
Yeah.
He was a slave on one of the ships that he was born on. So he lived a life as a slave for most of his life. He had to learn how to be as stealthy as he was just to get food for his family without any of the guards knowing. And his stealth, as luck would have it, was the main reason why him and his family were able to escape. So his natural gift of stealth is what got him out of a bad situation.
Okay. And I'm assuming with this stealth, my next question would be involving if we were to, say, be confronted with danger on our journey and you would have to fight. Is your stealth something you use to your advantage in a fight, or do you have other skills when it comes to combat?
Starts writing down. He states that he's used his stealth to kill people quietly. He doesn't like killing, but he knows it's something that's part of the job.
Understandable. A man after my own heart in that regard.
You don't like it. Just you go, excellent. You start writing down. He holds up a machete and it's right in front of your face.
Whew. All right, yeah, that's some quick movement there. Well, all right, Mr. Large, if I was to hire you on as a cannoneer, what do you think? What would you charge me? What would your rates be?
All right, Mr. Large puts down that his pricing is 300 gold a week.
Sounds very reasonable. Have you ever dealt with there's a very good chance that the ship we will be traveling on is a junk? Are you aware of how they are typically decked out as far as weaponry and cannons?
Starts scribbling. Shows you a picture of a junk.
I'm going to take that as a yes. You are very familiar. Good. And last question on the docket. Is there anyone on this application list who you have some sort of major problem with? Be it just a personal one, you don't work very well together, something on their end, something on your end. Anything is fine. Just know that I won't hold it against you.
Again.
It's just more for me.
He has no issue with anyone else, but he has done jobs with one Maldo, a red scale kobold.
Okay. So you're familiar with Maldo.
He also writes down in small little letters. Roll me a perception check to see if you can peer and see what the other words are.
17.
It says in parentheses and points to Maldo. He's nuts.
All right. Well, okay, Mr. Large, I think that's everything I'm going to need from you. I extend my hand out for a handshake. Thank you so much for your time.
His entire hand grabs your forearm.
All right. Well, this has been very informative. Thank you so much.
He writes down a piece of paper, puts it in front of you. It's upside down. Do you read it?
Yes.
Good day. You hear a gust of wind and he's gone and the door is open.
What a peculiar man.
All right.
Definitely leaves an impression.
All right, next on your list is Vars Metellus.
All right.
The halfling ushers in says, right this way, Mr. Metellus. You watch as a very dapper gnome. He's a rock gnome, so his skin's kind of like a little bit of a shade of purple. He's got a handlebar mustache for eons and a nice combed beard going down his face. This man looks like he's ready to sell you some hardcore snake oil. But by God, is he gonna look good doing so. Bowler hat, very nice black outfit. Walks with he has a cane with him, and he's got a small little bandolier of first aid kits and whatnot, just around him. He's like, good day, sir. He tips his hat to you and bows forward.
I nod my head. Hello, sir. Nice to meet you. I assume you are Vars Metellus?
That's right, Vars Metellus.
Well, Vars, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? How long have you been a surgeon? How long have you been practicing medicine?
Oh, I could tell you all kinds of stories about that, son.
I have a feeling you could.
Oh, yes. You see, well, the guild kind of tells me that I should be honest with my new employee, and I see why not.
I mean, well, I'm your employer, not your employee, but go on.
Oh, employer, I apologize. Fuck.
I figured.
Fuck. Sorry.
I just love goofing on you, Zito.
It's fine. Tell me, son, do you know what a quack is?
The sound a duck makes? I did meet a mallard the other night.
We all make that joke too, son.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, no.
I had to try.
Oh, no, it's quite all right. You see, I am a very brilliant surgeon. I've,
Modest?
well, yeah, some people have to brag, you know, son.
I understand. It's a bit of a habit I have as well. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
I've been in this little business of mine for quite some time. I used to run in a gang of other like-minded individuals who also knew how to use their ways of the surgeon's knife. See, I'm a plastic surgeon.
A plastic surgeon. Okay.
I can make someone look like someone else flat. Quite easy. Very simple. A little bit of a cut here, a little bit of side there. It's a very honest and very reputable trade, I might say. But unfortunately, there's a lot of folks out there who kind of don't want to spend all that much or are very flaky about that. So I decided it was time that good old Vars got what was his. So me and a couple of buddies decided to make a small little caravan. We go off out in the distance, go to nowhere towns, kind of give them a little bit of a scare sometimes, like, oh, I'll tell you one of my stories, it's fine. So he, like, reaches into the side of his bandolier and pulls out a small little, like, box. Yeah, go ahead and open it.
Oh, Ezra checks the box first, tries to see if he can figure out what the surprise or trick is gonna be when he just glances at it, if there is.
This man is, like, just, like, have you ever seen, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
Yes.
Remember that dude who, like, swindled him out on his building? That's that face, like that sitting, like, resting eye, just, like, face.
I'm assuming it would be, like, investigation to,
Yes,
like,
investigation.
really to look at it. All right, I got a 17.
17? It's a small little cigar box, metal tin. Doesn't look like it's booby-trapped or anything. It's just literally a tin you just open up.
Yeah. Pops it open. Sorry,
There
can never be too careful.
are fake fingers inside of it.
Oh, my. So you use this to...
Well, I'm very, like I said, son, I got a couple of bottles of these, holds up chloroform. Put some folks to sleep if they get awake. Stitch them on a new digit, tell them they're cursed, walk away with a cool 500 and a little bit of surgery on the side out.
I see. So a little bit of a scheme here to get people to pay for your services when
It was a good little operation me and my friends had, but sadly our little group kind of disbanded after some unfortunate malpractice that your old friend Vars here didn't quite like that scene and tried to turn himself in and do a little bit of good. And now I'm here trying to fight the good fight, as some say, but between you and me, son, old habits die hard.
Oh, I get that. I've been a bit of a swindler myself through my youth and well into my adulthood.
I can see it on your face, son. You look like quite the con show.
Well, you know, I like to throw some tricks here and there, and you know, maybe find out that the rich folk, the coin can drop out of their pocket a little bit easier than even they expect. But
You mean like this? Holds up one of your daggers.
now that's impressive. Takes the dagger, looks at it, makes sure it hasn't been
No, it's fine.
tinkered with or anything. Places it back in his pack. Very, very skilled. I have to ask though, you've impressed me with your let's just say your business shark-like attitude, and 2, your ability to, you know, you're quick with your hands. That's impressive. I have to assume that helps with the whole surgery aspect. Now you say you're a plastic surgeon. I assume with that comes a strong knowledge of the body and what ails it, and having means and ways around, fixing problems for people. Say if we, encountered trouble somewhere on the high seas and needed some medical help.
Now, believe it or not, your old pal Vars here was actually one of the good doctors. That whole quack job that I was telling you about, that's after the fact.
Okay, so you were a very skilled doctor, but turned to let's say a less honest practice.
I needed the money.
Yeah, when times called for it. Understandable, no judgment here. As someone who has stolen his well beyond his fair share of things, don't worry about don't worry about me grilling you too much on the whole scheming side of things.
Oh, I wouldn't think so, son. You're in the Fortune Tides company. There's always going to be a thief around for someone to hire.
Very true.
Why not have one who can, maybe fix you up with a brand new nose if you need it?
Hey, not a bad idea for someone who also plans to be an entertainer.
And also, you need to disappear? Vars can make you disappear just like that. Now, your name, I remember from the docket, was Mr. Lockwood.
That would be correct.
Ah, but what if I told you you could be Jebediah Jenkins in a day?
Well, I do like having multiple personas to be able to throw around just at the drop of a hat when needed to get in somewhere. Very tempting offer. However, on the subject of thieves, how much is this going to cost me? Figuring a man of your skills and business savvy probably doesn't go cheap.
Well, you got me there, son. You'll be looking at good old Vars for $4.50 a week.
All right. And I assume this comes with any sort of surgical needs and medical needs whatsoever would cover that. That isn't considered some sort of extra charge or something.
You'd be paying me to be a surgeon.
All right, good to hear. How do you hold yourself in a fight, Mr. Metellus, just in case the worst should happen and say we're boarded
now see,
by.
Here's where you might find Vars a little on the flaky side. Now, being what I used to be back in the day, I knew how to run from conflicts more than to have them. A good friend of mine actually works here. I used to do a couple of jobs with him back when we were quacks. I believe you know him as a Montgomery Bout.
Oh, okay, yes. He's on this list. Haven't met him myself yet, but...
He's more of the muscle, but old Vars can handle himself a knife or so, if need be. If I can cut a finger off and reattach it, I could cut it and then leave it off. He shows you a small short sword.
All right, so you can, but fighting isn't, let's say, your forte. You're better off in the not so.
I'm better at cutting and then fixing her up, not cutting and then leaving it dry.
Gotcha. Well, okay. I guess other than all of this, are there any other skills you have? I noticed that you're really here for being a surgeon, but I don't see your name really anywhere else on this list. So I was wondering if there are any other skills you have that you just want to brag about real quick, just for things outside of the surgical realm.
Any old skills that Mr. Vars can throw at you? Let's see. Let me roll something for him. Well, as you can see, fine looks like these don't come from anywhere else. Old Vars used to be a barber.
Oh, okay.
Comes with the territory. I can make you look pretty, I can make you look like someone else, and that also means prettying you up. Clothes, not so much, but your hair. Now, son, I can see you with a fine moustache.
You don't say. So also a barber. Interesting. Would you charge extra for those services?
Nah, not at all.
All right.
So long as it's a cut job, I could get you free of charge.
Excellent. Well, I'll be sure to make a note of that. And one last question before I let you go here. Is there anyone else on this list? I know you've mentioned that you've worked with Montgomery Bout before. Is there anyone on this list in particular that you have a conflict with? Anyone who you would refuse to work with, or would obviously cause waves if they were there?
Wouldn't say so much about hating the fellow. I mean, it's part of his job, but that Kowalski fella, as he likes to call himself, is kind of a rough customer.
You don't say.
A little too rough. Sometimes,
Bit of a strict hard ass.
got a little bit of anger management issues.
Ah, okay.
Seen it firsthand, never had to experience it.
Interesting. Well, okay. Well, I'll be sure to make a note of that just for future applications. And, well, honestly, Vars, thank you so much for your time. This has been very helpul. I'll be
Stands
sure
up on the seat. Again, he's a gnome, so he's
Yeah.
really, really short. He holds a tiny hand out to you. You shake his hand. There's another finger in your hand when you open it.
Ugh.
Like waggles his finger at you.
you tricky gnome, you. Just a little creepy. Not one to deal with fingers.
Now you can keep the fingers. They're wax.
Ah, interesting. Thank you very much. Stows a wax finger. You're not gonna say I can keep that, and I'm not gonna find
No,
a
you
way to
can.
use it.
You absolutely can. All
Especially
right.
when he just told me his scheme with it.
Well, I'm sure based on him saying that, you can only assume that he uses that story to at least sell what he does to people. All right, your last one on the list here is Frita Kasimar.
Mm-hmm.
You watch as the little halfling kind of just like looks over. You can see her in the corner of the door. She's just like, she looks frightened. She's kind of just like, right this way, Miss Kasimar. I'm sorry, I'll get out of your way. She kind of like runs down the hall. You watch as, so in comes this rather tall woman. Like she's probably close to like 5'8", 5'9".
Okay.
So she pretty much stands at the same height as you if you were standing up.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't walk in. She kind of just like glides in and she turns the corner slowly. You look down to notice where her legs are. It's just a giant black dress. But it's just floating. Like she's abnormally just kind of like floating in. The rest of her, she's kind of wearing like this intricate, like almost like ritualistic attire. But it is like covering herself up. Her skin is a very dark gray. Okay. She's an elf. You can see the look on her. She has like a little bit of a tattoo that runs down her face. Almost like, again, like you know that there are... Roll a knowledge check, actually.
10.
Based on just the skin complexion and the way like her physical like face looks, like it's a little bit more angular and she doesn't have hair, so she's balding. Her eyes are like this weird mixture of a metalish kind of pupil kind of color. This is a Shadar-kai, which is a gray elf, and they're known for being kind of the black sheep of the when it comes to like the social standards of Underdark elves.
Okay, so
they're
like,
kind of
she's
like
the lower class elf.
They're like a lower class elf, but they're also like the creepy, like they could snatch you in the middle of the night and kind of
okay.
like, yeah.
Right.
So they get a bad rap when it comes to just being who they are. As you can clearly see, as the halfling woman kind of was just like, "Oh fuck, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
She looks before you and kind of like lowers her head. She has like this raspy, almost like smoker voice. I'm not going to do it, but she like. You know the woman who does the voice for, remember Shaolin Showdown, like the ghost woman?
Vaguely, but yes, sure.
Like she has like the hello,
okay,
like that kind of voice.
It's the very raspy.
Yeah, very raspy. She kind of like bows herself over to you. You are Mr. Lockwood, yes?
That's me. You must be Frita Kasimar.
Indeed, I am.
Well, it's very nice to meet you. Ms. Kasimar, I guess to start things off proper, I'm interviewing you for the surgeon position. How much experience do you have in the field of medicine?
I was born into this field. She kind of like looks up. She's almost like looking as if she's talking to someone above her.
Okay.
If you cannot... I'm uncertain if you are familiar, but if you cannot tell by the etchings upon my face, you look at her etchings. Roll me an investigation check.
17.
Those are surgically cut into her flesh. And I need you to roll me a knowledge religion check.
8.
8?
Yes.
You have no idea what these symbols mean. You vaguely remember seeing them in some capacity, but by the way it's like etched around her face, it almost looks like one side of her face is inked in, but then it like transfers over to the left side of her shoulder and kind of like encroaches down her like sharp, pointy fingers.
Okay. I noticed the markings you have there. They look like they were painstakingly added.
When you say the word pain, she kind of like gives like this visible, like almost like insanely given smile. She's just like,
You like pain?
Indeed. Being as one who was born into the House of Vecker.
Ah, the House of Vecker, you say?
And I'll just go ahead and say this. Vecker is the god of pain and death.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that's a name I've heard before.
Yep.
Interesting.
This one was born into the holiest of states when it comes to pain.
You don't say.
There is a sort of state that my people, those who wish to be embraced in the ways of Vecker, where they cannot feel physical pain. I have gone through such a procedure, and I can no longer feel the nerves in my body. It is the most holiest of states.
I mean, that seems like it could be dangerous, though. Like, a lot of people, your nerves alert you if something is wrong or hurting you or harming your body. You've just turned off all receptors for that?
For myself, it is a religious state. For others, I can understand that this is an ill way to feel I understand this is an ill form. However, it only proves that my work will be far more glorious than it ever will be. If I could feel pain, then that means that my work is of the holiest of matters. By introducing pain to one, the body can twist and turn and churn in all sorts of unimaginable ways, even gaining benefit to it. That is my gift. Through the ways of pain and through the ways of my methods, some find it ill practice, some find it cruel. However, I do not. I see my means as a way of training one's body to become more dull to their weakness.
So your medical practice will basically it'll likely hurt your patient, but they will feel stronger for it. It basically builds resilience.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. So a quick question. We've along our journeys, we've fought many different sects and many different groups and kinds of people. We've had to deal with the likes of ghosts, liches, vampires, you name it. Things have been bad. Would your religious affiliation have any problem combating such forces?
Combating, no. The fact that they cannot feel pain is a slight to my god.
Okay.
I would do well to strike them down, maybe even learn to study the properties of these creatures. You kind of like watch as she like holds up her hand, and then from it a ceremonial dagger kind of like is now in her hand, so she kind of like had like a wrist mounted sort of thing that just peered out.
That's impressive. With your affiliation to the god of death and pain, does that come with any, say, supernatural abilities? Do you have any sort of magical skills or anything, or are all of your talents like strictly physical and of the physical realm?
One of your kind would call me a zealot, but in a lighter term, I am a cleric to his holy ways.
Okay. Well,
My magic, you like watch as like the knife, like the inside of the knife, like the blade actually melts away and becomes like this almost like ethereal red in the same shape. She just casted like magic on her. She casted magic on her knife.
She can enchant her weapons.
She can enchant, but also she like holds up her hand and it also has the same kind of like necrotic looking blightish feel to it that just looking at it alone makes your entire like spine tingle. And that's physical too.
Yeah.
Like that's not a metaphor. You're not scared of it. You feel pain run down your spine.
It is making me uncomfortable.
Yes.
It is harming me.
I can see it in your eyes. You can feel the sensation.
It does seem unpleasant. I will have to hand you that. If pain is what you're going for.
However, she like snaps it. You actually like feel your back crack in like the worst way possible. But
now I feel better.
When you stand, like she looks at you. Stand.
Stands up.
You stand up. You actually feel your entire body almost like you felt your physical body get up faster than your brain is capable of knowing. She casted haste on you.
All right.
A small price to pay for one's nerves. However, I feel my methods are a great boon and benefit.
No, I can definitely see that. That's an interesting like risk reward kind of thing you've got going on, where it'll be this might hurt, but could give you a boost that is well worth the pain. Very curious. I haven't actually seen many surgeons like that. I'm curious though with these kinds of skills, what's your going rate? How expensive would it be to hire you on?
My prices don't come cheaply. I ask for 500 gold a week.
That's a pretty impressive sum to ask for. I trust that you either have references or you've traveled with some of the people on this application list before. Is there anyone A, that you don't think you could work with, and B, that you think you would work well with?
Pain comes to all of us. I can work with anyone who feels the embrace of pain.
Okay.
But others feel fear when it comes to my gift.
I can understand that.
I assure you, my methods are not meant to harm, but to serve for the greater good. What they don't understand and what they fear can also assist them. If they don't feel that they can accept my gift, then they are weak!
All right. Well, okay, Frita. I believe that might be all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for your time. This has been very enlightening, and I have to say, even if this doesn't work out, I'm fascinated by your powers.
She fucking 90-degree lifts up, bows down again, 90-degree. She doesn't turn around, but she starts floating backwards and then turns the corner.
All right. Maybe a little bit of work on the bedside manner, but got to admit, impressively felt good after she popped my back.
You just noticed that you wrote down everything lickety split. Again, you're still feeling the effects of haste.
I'm just zipping through everything.
You actually look, you watch, and you can actually see an after shadow of your hand as you're doing stuff.
Definitely effective, even if a bit questionable.
All right, so let me go grab the other guys.
You got it.
All right, go back in.
I would say just assuming we're going to jump to whatever they've been up to.
Yep.
The fluff here would be that Ezra would be like, all right, I done what I need to do. He kind of just...
You can catch up to them if you want. Yeah,
pats himself up and just basically goes like, all right, I guess I'll see what they're up to.
All right.
Went and got some groceries, took a nap. How you guys doing?
Hey.
Yeah, sorry guys. That's going to be a thing. When we do interviews.
Got some interviews.
But however, so now I need you two to roll me a quick oh god.
I'll roll
Initiative check.
Initiative check.
And also, where do you want to go?
Well, good golly, that is a 9.
10.
Ezra would head towards the Bards College, honestly.
Okay.
That's...
All right, so Eloy.
He's met the Asterix, thinks they're cool, but is like, I gotta know what Eloy's up to.
Alrighty. So you leave the conference room. You see a couple of people. You actually watch as Frita is still kind of floating her way out. She looks to you and nods her head. But again, you see that fucking sly grin, and the tattoos almost make her look like she's blending into the shadow.
I just give a courteous nod, wave as I head out.
You actually are, because of what she casted on you, you're actually running way faster than usual. So you ask someone around, hey, where's the Bards College? And they hand it off to you. Mm-hmm. They hand you the information, and you start heading that way. Eloy, you've had a head start. You pretty much decide it's time to go check out the college. Asking around a little bit in town, you've seen a couple of other people that you've talked to before, kind of just mulling about, doing their daily stuff. You caught Grammy of all people. There she is, sitting in front of the crepe shop, looking through the window.
He's harmless. Don't worry. He's fine. He's nothing compared to you, Grammy. He's not a threat. He's not worth your effort.
She turns and looks at you. But he can smell the fear. I must assert my dominance. She T-poses in front of the window.
All right.
You hear a faint scream from the inside, and then a bunch of fucking pans fall.
Guess that's just the sea hag way. All right, you do you. Bye, Grammy.
So you look inside. There's Frank Motion looking out the window oh.
It's all right. Just show her your belly.
What?
Yeah, just it's okay. Just let her do her thing. It'll be fine. It'll all be over soon.
But I have to deliver this. I have to deliver this box of food to the Bards College.
You know what? Maybe you want me to just I'm headed down that way. You want me to take that for you?
Oh, would you? That'd be delightful. I'm afraid to leave my house now.
Yeah. Yeah, you learn to live with it.
So you now have a box of sandwiches inside, just walking down the street. Frank tells you which way to go after, it's a little bit just before you enter the left side of where all the houses are. You now enter a large courtyard where there's a bunch of students kind of like all writing down music and like playing with instruments. However, this time around, there's a lot of people who are like wearing some weird outfits. Like a lot of people look like they're dressing up to be jesters. Some people are actually like using some of their magic to take the shape of other creatures to induce performances. Like you see one fellow kind of like, someone goes up to him like, "Sir, I'd like a bear claw," and you watch as his hand turns into a bear's claw, and he like kind of like lightly paps him on the side of the other person on the side of the head, and everyone just has like a huge giggle. Everyone's laughing. Everyone's having a good time here. Everyone looks like, even though all their practical jokes are low, or some people are like writing down some high humor and like talking back to each other, while it does seem like they're trying to bite at each other, at the end of the day, like most of their performances, everyone's having a giggle and trying to help each other like perform some kind of comedy.
Well, this is nice. I'm gonna look around, see if I can find anybody who doesn't seem busy at the moment.
You like you actually watch as like one of the gnomes kind of like waddle his way over towards you. "Hey son, pull my finger."
Okay.
You pop his whole finger off. Ah! Ah!
Hold on. No, I can fix it. Hold out the stump. I got this.
Oh, you did it.
I'm the best bard that ever lived. I didn't even play my song that time.
He kind of like pats you on the shoulder and just like he goes, "Oh wait, stop for a second. Don't move. There's something behind you."
Oh, that's just Grammy. It's fine.
He reaches out. He asks you, "Can you just lower down? I think I see something on your face." Reaches behind your ear and pulls out another finger. It's gone from your hand.
Oh, okay. All right, I was afraid that was one of mine. All right, no, you can have that back.
You are very unfazed. That's kind of impressive, this gnome says. Are you a new student here?
That's the idea. Yeah, I got my wandering scribe badge right here.
Oh, you're an offshore.
Yeah. I wanted to see about what do I do to get a badge here?
Ooh,
Also, whose sandwiches are these?
Oh, that'd be the headmaster. I'm sure he normally doesn't like to speak to people because, well, you know what? If you're here to take the trial, I think it's better if I just show you. Come on, follow me.
Okay.
You follow him in. There's a bunch of people like just sitting around again, just waxing poetic, writing down stories just to like entertain people. There's a dude over on the side, like kind of putting on a puppet show for some kids. Like there's some like gentle comedy going on while there's some like rough comedy going off on the side. Like someone's just going like, "Ah, fuck you, you son of a bitch," and everyone's still laughing. It's just fucking weird. Like this one guy is just going ham and telling everyone how fucking terrible they are. But you're actually watching as when he says this, some people are actually physically getting hurt. Like there is like a little bit of blood coming out of someone's nose.
Is that okay? Everybody seems okay with it. Is he all right?
Oh, that? Oh yeah, that's pretty common. While yeah, there are some people who can take comedy, there is some times where we kind of use that as an endurance. Because, have you ever heard of the spell called Vicious Mockery?
I got lots of spells that I do. I don't rightly know all their names. I'm mostly self-taught.
Roll knowledge check.
7.
See, it's kind of funny because sometimes we can, depending on how potent our magic is, we can also vocalize the magic through our voices. That being said, it can turn into raw arcane energy, and if people hear that raw arcane energy, it can hurt them from the inside.
Huh. I mean, mostly I do music. So that's how my magic works.
Then that's you. You use your music as a conduit.
Yeah, but I mean, there have been a couple of times when I was particularly insulting to someone who was trying to murder my friends, and they seemed to get real bad at it. Was that a magic thing too?
You hit them real good. That's a pretty sharp tongue you got there.
Okay. I mean,
That's actually pretty well. Sometimes, for one of those who don't rightly kind of look at things on the comedic side, you kind of need to... Sometimes bards use their voice, not only just an instrument. When you can't use this, he kind of like taps the whistle on the side of you, the flute. He taps the flute with his knuckle. Sometimes we're not always in access of what we're usually accustomed with, so sometimes we gotta think on the fly. That's what this college is all about. We kind of use our wits and our voices and our minds itself to form some way to inspire or to detract from something.
huh. That's neat. Yeah, I was on an island with some frogs and I didn't have my flute and boy, I'm always pretty naked. At least half of me, but I felt more naked than usual. It was weird. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to be a bit more accustomed to that.
Well,
That came out wrong, or did it? I don't know.
Well, you come to the right place, actually. This whole entire place is normally just us using our wits to use as sword or to use as comedy. That's exactly what the headmaster does. Sometimes he's a little eccentric, and sometimes he kind of forgets that a lot of people can't take his raw, untapped arcane energy. I could show you to him. Here he is right now. You actually see, like, there's a guy, like, sitting there at a desk, like, it's a hobgoblin. It's a hobgoblin in a nice, fancy white robe and tunic ensemble, and he's wearing a very nice, like, hat that kind of, like, drapes back and almost, like, captures his hair in a small kind of, like, do-rag in a way. His hair is tied up in a ponytail and goes down the rag and goes into his shirt. This guy is tall. He's, like, 6 foot, like, 2. He's a hobgoblin. So his skin's like this kind of like fuzzy yellow, and like his fur is kind of like breaching out almost like in a sort of like slick. Have you ever seen Gant from Phoenix Wright, the final boss?
No.
He has like this really weird sharp beard combo that sticks out, so it's like a Doc Venture kind of thing.
Hi there, sir. I got sandwiches for you.
He like lurches up and looks at you. He's wearing glasses, and like they're tinted black, so you can't see his eyes.
Yeah, from the creperie.
He reaches out and grabs it. He like nods. Oh, the gnome kind of looks at you. Oh, the headmaster kind of doesn't like to use his voice. Again, raw, untapped energy.
Oh, got it. Like he might hurt my feelings too bad if he just opened his mouth.
He points at you and nods like, mm-hmm.
Huh. How does he teach like that, though?
Oh, when he starts talking, that is the lesson.
Huh.
I mean, headmaster, this is actually one of the offshore students here to take one of the trials. He like looks up at you and like lowers his shades. His eyes are like this it's almost like a cat's eye, but it's entirely purple. And, like, you could just see, like, the commanding presence of him just, like, looking at you is, like, he's looking at you with vitriol. Like, oh, really now? Like, he looks like he's testing your mettle just by looking at you alone. Roll me an insight check.
12.
Well, I rolled a nat 1, so... He is just glaring at you. You're so ignorant to what's going on here that you have no idea what's going on. He was trying to induce fear on you by looking at you.
Yeah, that'd be right nice. That's mildly disconcerting. Hello, hi, I'm Eloy. They call me the Ghost Spooker. I mean, nobody really calls me that. I call me that. It hasn't really caught on much. But I did spook some ghosts to death. That was real good.
He, like, nods his head. He's like, I see. He doesn't like talk. He doesn't speak, but he like gives you this look. I need you to roll another insight check. He like arches his one eyebrow to you.
8.
Okay, with his roll, you don't see him talk, but you could actually feel like he's talking to you. So like it's this weird, almost like double voice of yourself speaking to you through his expression. It almost feels like he's asking you, "I see. So, how good are you at your words? How well can you articulate?"
Oh boy. That might be a weak spot. I don't know. I mostly do musics, and really only I only ever wrote one song with lyrics, but people seem to like that one.
He holds his hand out as if you're supposed to produce something for him.
Oh, you know, I never wrote it down. Like with pen and paper, I could.
There's a look of disappointment on his face when you said that, and you see like the gnome fella is just like, "Oh no."
I mean, it's all up here. I could. Oh well, I suppose I can't. My singer died. I did me a sad.
Dude busts open his mouth. Your friend's so dead, he...
He kind of like, sorry, just want to take a sip of coffee. Sure. He then looks to you and then looks back to the gnome. He gives the gnome like this furrowed brow, and the gnome like steps back, like almost he can hear that same like kind of feeling you got. It's like, "Oh, sir, that's mean. He doesn't know. If he's not that well versed, then oh, I see.
I mean, you got it right. I don't know hardly nothing.
No, I think he wants to put on a show, and unfortunately, you're going to be the guinea pig for this. He wants to do a trial of the fire tongue.
Okay, is this like that dragon whiskey? Cause I'm no good at that neither.
No, it's a medal of quick-witted insults.
Oh, okay, we can. Boy, I was.
He stands up. He stands up and looms over you. Like he's now standing above you. Takes his shades off.
Well, I'll tell you what. I got my go-to, and you're definitely half of that. And we'll
Okay.
see about the other half.
You watch as the gnome he looks physically in fear that he jumps to the side. Everyone take down! Everyone get down! Everyone in the entire fucking vicinity hits the floor. He takes his shades off. Your mama's so fat. She calls the folds between her skin the Underdark. You physically watch as a vase behind him explodes. Shit. Roll a wisdom save.
12.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, hold on. You said, what about my mom? The back of your head feels like it's on fire. How could someone say that so mean about your mother?
Mostly ate berries and hay and such. She was a very normal weight.
You're trying to contemplate this. The back of your head feels like it's just doused in flame. This hurts the very, very core of your soul. You're now envisioning your mother this fat. To the point where it now physically fucking hurts to think this.
They call it inflation.
No, Nick. No.
This is someone's fetish, but it's not mine.
You take... Okay, with that, plus his stats, you take 14 points of psychic damage.
Wow.
He sits back down and folds his arms.
Oh, man. I thought I'd have time to train. You're...
The gnome kind of like gets up. He's like, oh, thank God. Last time my entire skull went on fire.
Is this?
That's the trial.
Is this the trial right now? Do I
No,
have to try?
no.
Okay.
He was just testing you to see how you would feel against his lowest form. This isn't even his final form.
He hasn't transformed yet.
Yes, your trial is going to be an overglorified Yo Mama contest.
You know who I bet could help me prepare for this? I bet Scrum could do it. Sir, you have opened my eyes to how much I have to learn. I'm gonna go train with my friend, and I'm gonna come back a stronger donkey man.
He like writes down on a piece of paper. He starts writing, scribbling down something. He hands it to you. It's a letter saying to come back when you are ready to take this trial. And they will immediately get this underway. When you feel you are prepared that your words can spit venom like a cobra, he will take you on this challenge. The rules are simple. You have 5 turns. In those 5 turns, you have to give a Yo Mama joke in 10 seconds. They have to be in universe and can't reference anything outside of the universe. If you do, it's an automatic disadvantage roll.
Oh, trust me, that was the problem I was having, is that the only one that came to mind was your mama's so fat, or your mama's so old that when God said, let there be light, he said, now get your fat ass out the way. But that doesn't work, that's monotheistic.
Mama's so fat when her scrying orb goes beep, people think her ship is backing.
Disadvantage.
You hear that? You got advantage to your dis.
So, do those rules seem fair to you?
Yeah, that works.
All right, cool. So, with that, he goes, by the way, you feel your fucking, the fucking nerves in your fingers get set ablaze. The moment he talks, it sounds like a guttural, almost just like in the back of your mind, hearing this guy's voice already induces pain. Just like hearing him talk almost feels like a grave insult. Broadway McSlander. Your nose is bleeding.
Worth it. That's a real cool name.
You watch as the gnome is like scratching at his ear, and it's also bleeding as well. Like, oh, damn it.
Not again.
This guy's voice alone induces pain. And he sits back down and goes back to his paperwork.
That must make ordering lunch real hard, though.
Yeah, how does he pick up the fly honeys at the bar? Do they all just die?
Just writes notes.
He only gets the ones who get off on humiliation.
Oh, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Talks to deaf girls.
Well, there you go. You got yourself your trial. What else would you like to do here if there's anything else? You pretty much met the guy. He's like, yeah, just come back with this paper and if you want to go throw down, we'll throw down.
Right. Huh. So I turn to the gnome who I can converse with without physical pain. How do you train for something like that? Like, I was just gonna go find my friend who hates me and just tell him to just let me have it. Like to build up my defenses, kinda.
You don't seem like the kind of guy who gets angry all that much, do you?
Once, bird stole my flute.
I see. Well,
no, that's not a euphemism.
we do have a couple of ways. There are a few people here that you could, I don't know, speak to or show off your magic, and they can see, like, where in your throat that this raw energy comes from. If they could somehow find a way that you could use it not through your flute, but instead through your voice, maybe through your tongue, through your nose, through your mouth, somewhere. If you could find some way to channel that raw, physical, that raw arcane energy in your throat before it exits out of the flute, you could then apply it to your words.
Huh. I mean, like I say, I think I might have been doing something like that. I don't know. I had to be convinced that my flute was magic at all. It's been a process.
Well, what is that spell?
Well, it usually starts. I don't want to.
Oh, trust me.
I don't want to go off. I don't want to go off accidentally. That's how I was born.
God damn it.
But it usually starts. Hey, you big dummy!
Or do you actually cast it on him?
Let's see if I do or not.
yeah.
I'm sort of like only half trying.
While you're doing this, they're kind of like walking out. You're walking out from the building back to the courtyard.
Yeah, let's say I cast it at him.
Okay, roll it.
He would get a wisdom save versus DC 15 or 16. DC 15.
He beat it. So he watches you kind of like say that. Oh, I see. So how did that make you, when you said that, where do you feel the most like vitriol or the most anger came out of?
I mean, that time I didn't like. I was.
He kicks you in the knee. Do it again!
You big dummy! Why'd you do that?
Where did you feel that?
I mean, that one was in my knee.
In your mouth. Where? Where did you feel it? In the back of your head? Did it come from here? Did it here? Where?
I mean, I guess it like started down like near my breastbone and just kind of went up from there.
Ah, it comes from your lungs then. That's even better. That arcane energy you can use. If you can use a bellowing voice, you can somehow make your words bellow just as much as the air circulates in your lungs. Your lungs are where your magic comes from.
Huh. So the flute's just like a.
It shapes it. It's not so much where the magic comes from, it's just how it's shaped. The magic comes from within, and I can't believe I said that out loud.
I mean, it's a weird old world.
It's D&D. But we found where the starting point is. How it's formed, you're going to have to not use this. He like snatches the flute away.
No, oh, okay, that is a keepsake. That.
How does it make you feel?
Are you gonna give that back to me, or? God, you can't just take a guy's flute, you big dummy. That does not belong to you. You are a thief. You are a thief and a bad man.
Roll again, +4.
That's a will save, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
So he has to roll.
I have to roll with disadvantage for him. Fuck, disadvantage fucking screwed him up real good. Roll that damage.
let's see. That is...
So add a +4 to that. That's what I meant. I apologize.
No, that makes sense. 8 damage.
8 damage. You almost look like when you said that, you watch as like you projecting your voice at him physically pushed him back. And he kind of just like rubs his shoulder. He pulls down his like the collar of his shirt to reveal it. It looks like a huge welt black and blue. He hands you your flute back.
Thank you. I'm not used to doing this when somebody's not like actively trying to murder somebody I care about. This is weird to me.
That's fair. I understand that. You look like you clearly have the practice. I mean, with all the weapons and stuff you got carrying around.
Yeah, I mean, back home, we mostly used less verbal darts and more literal like arrows.
Well, that's what this school's about. It's the verbal darts that are gonna get you through stuff.
All right, I'll try. I've never tried to do it just on command like that.
You don't need to do it? Well, think of it this way. You're using the air inside your lungs to make, to at least form the magic. And you could belt it out, and it could be raw, just like how you did before. However, you're not using the flute this time around to shape it. You're using your mind. What you think. Whatever you think before the air comes out of your lungs, that's how you shape it.
Huh. All right, I'll think on that. Thank you.
With that knowledge, I'm going to allow you I'm going to allow you that, like, the gnome kind of, like, says to you, after he tells you that, he says, maybe it might be best if you go into the archives or something. Like, there's a public library that we have that has all sorts of verbal spells.
Okay. Well,
Any spell that requires a verbal command, I will allow you a scroll from any one level 1 spell that requires verbal only.
Level 1 verbal spell. I'll have to spend some time flipping through that book later between sessions.
Yep, that's fine. You could totally do that, but that pretty much means that you can now use that in your repertoire of magic.
Okay.
And now that you also have a turner, you can make copies of it to learn it.
Yeah. Cool. So, I'm sorry, back up for a second, though. Library?
Are you serious? It's a place where he, like, looks you over. I'm gonna roll a knowledge for him. How do you not know that? Oh, wait a minute. Now I know why you seem familiar. You're one of them folk outside of the town by the mountain base.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on a mountain. We didn't have, like, is library, you said it like it was a place. Is it a building?
Yeah, it's that building over there. It's where they hold all sorts of books and all sorts of other things.
Okay, that explains it. We didn't have those buildings, I mean. Any of them.
I can get that.
Yeah. I got a room on a ship. Well, I had. It was real neat, though. It had a door. I could close it and keep people out, or I could open it and let people in.
Oh, by the way, Rudolph Hilly.
Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Eloy.
Nice to meet you, Eloy. I hope you know what you're getting yourself into. But if you already got a badge, I mean, you're already working your way up the ladder.
Yeah, I mean, that one, boy, he put up a good fight, but nothing like Mr. Broadway over there.
Yeah, he's kind of a tough, well, I can say that for a lot of folks. A lot of folks who are headmasters have their abilities and can use the energy from within in all sorts of different ways.
Say, speaking of the other centaur folk, I've been meaning to try to meet up with them too. I heard tell they were in the agriculture district. Is that right?
That's right. It's just a little bit. Just to the northwest of here.
Okay, I might head in that direction next then.
Some live here, but I think most of them live outside of the town, saying something about how they don't kind of like to mingle with other races, sleeping-wise.
Yeah. Seems like there's always folks trying to get me to sleep with other races, and I think it's weird.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. You know what? It's fine. Rudolph is just like, She's like, you're on your way. You know your shit.
Yeah. We didn't have beds, neither. It's real awkward. I like my pile of hay.
See, everything you're saying to me right now, and when I gauge a reaction out of it, read that. That's how you'll be able to actually see where your energy can go. You can make people laugh, you can make them cry, you can make them feel angry, you can make them feel happy. All of that stuff you say and how people gauge it, you can use that before the energy comes out of your mouth. That's that brain part I was telling you about.
All right, I'll think on that. And yeah, I am powerful, eager to talk to my folk and see if I can get a lead on how to get home, but I wonder what Wake's up to.
I was about to say we were going to move on to Wake now.
Feels
right.
like about time.
Yep. All right, Wake.
Yeah, about 2 hours in.
Sorry.
Hey, man, it's a split-up episode.
Apparently.
Yeah, I'm trying to give everyone a chance to shine here. I apologize.
No, that's all good. Let's see. So what do you need me to roll in order to try to find the ash drakes?
Well, what exactly do you want to do? Because the moment you left Pliskin and Risk's house, you're now just walking around where the guild hall is at this point.
Well, I'm going to ask around and say, so I hear, the ash drakes live around here. Maybe they have a house or something. You guys know anything about that? All right. You actually see
there's a female elf standing before you as you're asking this. Like, you're kind of like looking around, you're trying to see if there's no one busy or anything. This one girl, it's weird because you kind of thought she was a tree at first, but she had a face. You kind of like reach out to her and you're like, oh wait, no, that's a tree. And then the creature turns and looks to you. This is some,
hi.
it's some kind, she doesn't look like a full plant, but she like, her body almost looks like her hair is like in season with like what it is right now. Like it's close to fall at this point. So you're looking at her and like her hair is like this autumn color and it almost looks like there's little buds coming out of her hair. She looks to you and she like gives you like this small smile like, oh yes, was there something you need?
Sorry, lovely foliage you have.
Oh, you
there.
like it? I'm actually trying to bring it in for the fall season.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I'm gonna roll an insight real quick on you. Do you wish to feign ignorance, or do you want to like actually prove that you don't know what's going on?
feign ignorance about what? Because I'm ignorant about what I'm ignorant to.
Ignorant about the fact that her head, you didn't expect the plant reaction, like a
Sure, I'll roll to play it cool. 15 to play it cool.
She beat you out.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's okay. I understand it. I'm sure you're a merfolk. I'm sure you've actually never seen one of my kind before.
I can't say that I have. I think I've met somebody similar, but...
Jillian Harvest, she like holds her hands out to you.
Wake, scalebound.
Oh, thank you. I'm an Eldarin. My people are actually... We're not from here. I'm actually more towards Silvergleam.
I am more towards... You know what? It's been a while. Do you know where Jahal Cove is? It's kind of off the coast up north.
Yes.
Yeah. North of that, off the side of the continent.
Well, my people are actually, like, we're so in tune... I guess the elves of my kind are so in tune with nature that we actually can transform with nature itself. I don't kind of want to do it today, but I can make myself one of spring, summer, winter, and fall.
I can make my legs go away and turn into a fish body.
That's insane.
It's pretty cool, actually.
She kind of just looks at you like, that's awesome.
I know, right? But sorry, I'm actually looking for some... do you live around here?
Oh, yes, I live just a few... I used to live a few doors down from here. Very close to the guild hall. Get all the quick jobs.
Nice. So I hear the ash drakes live around here, and I had some...
I know, right? Isn't that amazing?
It really is! Oh, my God! I'm sorry.
Did you hear the story about how Gabriel took down a flesh golem?
Yes! It was in Volume 2.
Volume 2, Chapter 3.
Yes. I'm sorry. I had some vampire questions that I figured that they'd be the people to ask. So, like,
I know where they live, but they're usually not home all the time. They're off doing a lot of jobs. They're one of the guild's higher recommended officials.
No, of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
Well, I know where they live. I'm sure you're not going to trespass on their property.
Oh, of course not. What? That would be insane. Who would do that? Do people do that?
Actually, there have been a few.
Really?
Some really high-strung fanboys kind of try to break their way in, and I heard one day they actually tried to steal Gabriel's sword.
Oh, that sword is so cool, though. But I wouldn't do that. I'm more of a stick guy.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You look like you're from the monastery.
I visited my brother works there. He's actually one of the masters or instructors as far as
I didn't know there was a fish. I didn't know one of the fish folk was actually working there.
Oh no, I actually did not learn from my clan. It's a very long story, but he's actually a turtle.
No way.
Yes, he's real cool.
That's silly, but also amazing with a nat 1.
I know. He's so cool.
See, this is why I love this place. When I came here from Silvergleam, I didn't think I'd be able to fit in, but with all these crazy races and all these other jobs and all these stories to tell, this place is amazing.
It really does feel accepting in a odd sort of way. I'll be honest, I have not been around people that accept me for a long while, although I have been traveling with a troop for a bit, but that's kind of in a bit of a flux right now, as most of them are, kind of.
Are you looking for a job too? I'm sorry I keep keeping you up.
Oh, no, not really. I mean, I'm technically on a job. I'm still trying to curry a parcel somewhere. It's been an effort.
Oh, I see. Well,
Yeah,
best of luck to you on your journeys. I know it might seem minuscule just taking a package to someone, but I'm sure it's very important to someone.
I would assume it very much is. They are quite insistent that it get to where it need to go. I mean, of course they are. Why wouldn't they? They got a package they want it delivered, but
I used to have to run a couple of delivery jobs, and I hated it.
yeah, it's had its share of strains.
It also, between you and me, it's kind of a little bit easier for me since I can do fun stuff like this. She like looks left and right. She's trying to like find something. She peers off into the distance and she points at it. There's a small tree off to like a start of a tree line that goes down like the courtyard. She looks at that and then she looks around and looks to the side of a wooden building. She goes, "Hey, watch this."
All right.
She like steps over towards the wall. She steps back and blends into it and disappears. Over here! You look over to the tree. There she is peeking out of it. She's like halfway out of the tree waving at you.
Whoa.
I know, right?
That's like... I think I've met another guy that can do something like that, except he like became all the trees or something.
Did he?
Yeah.
She's just like, these stories are so good!
Yeah, I'll try to get closer so I don't have to yell it to you.
She walks over to you. Oh. She like, with a little bit of strain, she's like, she steps herself out of the tree. Everyone else kind of just like looks at her and it's just like, eh. Like it's like this is common hat occurrence. She walks her way back over to you.
Yeah, if you say they have like a house just down the street.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Kind of got caught up in the stories. I kind of would have liked to say a little more, but if
yeah,
you're really...
No, we can walk and talk if you want to show me where it is.
Oh, very well. She continues to babble on about all the dumb little side jobs she has, but roll me a intelligence check real quick.
Not bad, 17.
A lot of the things she's telling you, like all the abilities she has, she's kind of giving you this impression that like she used to be a farmer in some way. Like she had something to do with a lot of harvesting. Like she appeared to be some kind of like a town savior for a lot of local jobs where because of what she is, she was able to make harvest where most of the times like a township would not be able to eat because like nothing is growing. But she seems that her magic is what assisted that.
I used to help out the village that raised me. They were a fishing town, so I'd go under the water sometimes and I'd detangle their nets and make sure they weren't getting anything bad. I don't think I ever saved anybody. I saved a few nets though.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
She seems moderately genuine about when you tell her about things and she's interested in them. Almost like these are new experiences to her that she wishes she could have. While you guys are doing this, you finally reach like a bigger section of the living quarters. The houses are getting bigger as you keep going along. Like these are like bigger houses. Like these are starting to become manors in a way. After walking down a few streets, you finally reach one, and she leads you to a gated off sector. And there before you is a 3-story building that she goes, "Well, here it is."
Wow, it's just like the cover of my novels.
This entire place is covered to head to toe in holy symbols.
It's just like my La Sirana anime.
Did you read The Lost Chronicles of Barnacle Bay? I didn't like chapter 4 though.
I didn't get that many books. I don't think I've heard a few tales of Barnacle Bay, although they might have been more personal experiences.
What? So her eyes get big and she just like looks up at you like, "What?"
Oh man, like I don't know like how much I don't know. I feel like it should be fairly common knowledge. I mean, like I heard from a guy. Let's call him Mead. I heard from a guy.
What? She just like looks at you like. You can look. The look on her face clearly states she knows what you're talking about.
Oh, all right. Well, let's call him Skippy.
No, he's Mead.
Okay,
that's
fine.
a lot. Like, do you want to decept that?
No, I would fail. You know what? I was right. I rolled a 2.
No, I heard that. You've actually seen one of the pirate lords?
Yeah, I mean, seen is a yes.
This is so cool. Why haven't you told anyone? This will get you in the guild instantly.
Yeah, but apparently, I don't think the Navy takes
She
too
turns
kindly.
around and looks down the street. Hey, everyone! This guy... Do you want to do anything about it?
No. Okay.
You just hear a small bang as you look over to the side, and there's Mite standing there. Could you please lower your voice?
Hi,
That's
mate.
not lowering your voice.
It was bringing it in.
Oh, yes, I know who you are. The fellow we saw on that island.
Yes. Wake, Mr. Mite.
Indeed. Nice to see you again.
Very nice to meet you.
Grabs your fist, roll an athletics check with disadvantage.
I'm okay being swamped around like Bam Bam.
No, Bam Bam's the one who would.
Oh, athletics with disadvantage.
Yeah.
The first one was still lower. Athletics is 17.
Yeah.
Crush. Yeah, that's so fun. How much damage do I take?
You don't have to worry about
Cool.
it. You're just being throttled around up and down. Put you back down. Now, what can... Oh, Miss Jillian, nice to see you again. Oh, hello, Mr. Mite.
Yeah, I just met her over at the guild hall.
Yeah, she and Master Rock have actually shared quite a few adventures, yes.
Why didn't you tell me that?
I didn't think it was important.
Oh. We were talking about the ashtray. I mean, just normal, casual, trying to find where you guys were, because I had a few questions follow up about the stuff that we ran into on the island.
Yes, well, what is it you need?
I was just wondering if, you had any leads on this Gustav Morgan or anything because they seem oddly interested in us, and we,
Interested? How do you say?
well, they, that mist that led us to that island, all the torpedo snails, and the fact that they called us out by name in the hologram.
Unfortunately, we haven't found any other leads. It's quite sad and unfortunate. Master Gabriel and Master Fritz are all out on the lookout, as it were, at this moment.
Oh, they are? Are they just not on island right now? Not on land?
No, as of right, well, they are on land, as it were, but they're not in the city.
I see.
I'm more than certain they'll come back around sooner or later.
Do you know what time?
No, sir.
Yeah, they I'm sure they don't leave notes or anything around.
Well, that would be a huge compromise of their mission.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, they're yes.
Now, one begs the question, what are you doing here?
I'm just
This island, I mean.
Oh, due to some unfortunate circumstances after we parted ways, our ship has become feral.
What do you mean, son? Yeah, what do you mean? Jillian's just like, what is going on?
Well, you've seen our ship. You've been on it, right, Mike?
We've seen it, yes.
Yes. Well, it's alive, and it is very, very hungry right now because it seems to have lost its soul.
So you remember that scene from Futurama where Fry meets the robot in the fucking padded cell? Pleased to meet you. Actually, we've met once before.
We have?
Jillian. What?
Oh God, she's just
Like,
a pile of leaves.
No. You watch as her hair poofs out, and she blooms. Like she has a bunch of flowers in her hair now.
Oh, hey, it's springtime.
Oh, damn it. That's one day I have to wait now.
But yeah, it's not feeling so good, and we're currently in the process of moving out so that we can give it and our crewmate a proper funeral.
Oh, dear. I'm very unfortunate to hear that.
Yeah,
It's very horrible to hear the death of one of your allies.
I'm sure you've had to deal with it before.
We've had to...
Nope, the Asterix have a spotless record.
It would not shock Wake.
It's not quite fun to have to be the one to take down your previous master, yes.
A lot to unpack with that one. just...
Oh, well, it's no secret, my dear boy. I was the one who had to fell down the Ash Drake's father. He became a vampire, and I had to take him down.
Okay, which book was that in? Because I think I missed that story. Is it in any of the books?
No, it's more of a private matter, but it's one that a story has gotten out for some time that even the Ash Drakes have redeemed it and said it out publicly.
Well, thank you for sharing it with me, Mr. Mite. Yeah, I was just coming by to check. It's a very nice to meet you again. I actually feel kind of silly standing here now.
It's quite all right, dear lad. Have you eaten yet?
I had some eggs.
He kind of
Really
like
good eggs.
He kind
Really
of
good
just-
eggs.
he kind of like ushers you. He ushers like the door open and he lets you in. Miss Jillian, you are welcome to join us as well. Rock would be splendid to hear from you again.
Yes, thank you. I graciously accept your invitation.
All right, here we'll take a quick break.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the table. Crumple, crumple.
It's just to show the progress of time. Something happened.
So, unless we're cutting away to something else, when Wake walks into the Ash Drake mansion, like, what does he see?
What does he see, you say? Well, you come into a very Victorian-looking interior house.
Wow.
So there are a lot of like very nice decorated gemstone style pillars around the entire like interior. Like each corner has one. They're ordained with holy symbols. A lot of them are Ludarius. Some of them have some Kelpie in there, but for the most part, this place looks like a very religious home. There's some lanterns and some candles all around. God damn it.
No, Wake's in wonder, man. He's like,
There's a lot of books and tomes around. There's a lot of, funny enough, there's a lot of trophies on the wall too. Like there looks like like the biggest one they have is the head of what looks like a giant wolf.
that's a big dog.
That was a werewolf.
Wow. Those are real too? That's crazy.
Yes, isn't one of your allies cursed with lycanthropy?
Yeah, but he's like a shark. That makes sense to me.
That's normal. There are tons of shark people.
Yeah.
I grew up with them.
No sea wolves though.
Yeah, no
Ain't-
sea wolves.
Ain't got none of those.
Yeah, I ain't got no sea wolves, just sharks, the wolves of the sea. Oh!
Jillian's kind of just like sitting down. She sits down at a table as Mike kind of like pulls out a chair for her, pulls out a chair for you. It looks like this is like a dining area. You're kind of like surrounded by a lot of candles and a lot of stained windows that kind of like have depictions of Gabriel, Fritz, and Rock.
I will remember this forever.
Yes, can I get you something to eat while Master Rock makes his way down here?
Oh, absolutely. If you have any meat, I guess that's what I typically eat.
Yes, one moment, please.
Thank you.
Comes back, he gives you he comes back with a platter of eggs, like assortment of little slices of ham. So he's basically giving you like very well adopted like deviled eggs and sliders.
Thank you, Mr. Mite. I'm allowed to have all this?
You may have as much as you wish, yes.
Is it good?
Oh fuck yeah, it's good.
Oh my god! I'm trying.
Sacrilege to say this, but you dare say it's a lot better than Grammy's cooking.
Dare I say it out loud? Never. Okay, Wake keeps his composure and just. Thank you. It is excellent.
Rock comes down and he notices you. Oh, hello.
Holding his pinky out while holding up some ham. Hi. This is.
Oh, you're that fellow Wake Scalebound, yes?
He remembers my name. He says, looking over to his new friend. Yeah. Nice to meet you again, Rock, Mr. Ashdrake.
Oh, well, nice to see you again, too. I'm glad to see you've found a safe haven out of that misty archipelago.
Yeah, it's kind of more difficult getting out than we anticipated. But yeah, we're here.
Oh, I apologize. Had I known, we could have offered you safe passage.
Oh well, we had our we had we had our own thing that we had to do, and just so happened to end up at the same place. So yeah, that probably would have made sense thinking back on it.
I see. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're safe nonetheless. Hello, Miss Jillian. Hi, Rock. She's like waving at him. Oh, I hear that your name has just been put up on the board as well. Yeah, I'm just waiting on to see if I can get an interview for a new job.
What kind of jobs are you up for? I might know a captain.
Oh, I'm a boatswain.
Oh, that's really useful. Because our old boat used to heal itself, but now we probably actually need somebody that can do that.
What do you mean by heal?
We remember how I talked about how the boat was alive?
Well, yeah, but I mean, how so?
Like we just
I'm no stranger to plant life being alive.
we just shove wood in its face and it'd be like, oh nom nom. Sometimes throw metal in there, eats it up, and then it just
Oh
kind
well,
of.
if you don't mind the magical means of patching up a boat, I have a similar skill of that.
That's actually very, very useful. I'll pass that on to. Actually, I think my captain's doing interviews right now.
Excuse me. I'm gonna say like an hour and a half has passed at this point, so he's
So
probably
yeah,
done
he's
by now.
probably still doing.
Yeah.
Finishing up.
Oh, you are indeed looking for new sets of crew. What I dare say, what happened to your others? Are they not going with you?
It's weird. We got here, and all of a sudden, as soon as the Yeldon just stopped being the Yeldon, a lot of them kind of lost interest. It feels honestly like losing a bit of my family, but not in the literal sense like the ones that I did lose, but in a more metaphorical, not quite equally as sad sense. Or permanent.
It seems, I don't mean to be frank, Mr. Wake, but it seems that you might handle loss a little unreasonably. I don't feel they're going to be completely gone forever.
Oh no, of course. I just mean like you get used to traveling with a certain set of people, and then it feels weird to me that I don't know, these people that I got to know aren't.
Well, if we're being frank, I often don't like traveling alone with just my brothers alone. A change of scenery is very nice, especially with Miss Jillian. That's also one of the changes that I've made.
I have no problem meeting new people. I will throw that. I mean, like yourself, I'm very happy.
That
Yes?
was a window. Something just slammed against the window.
Do you have a bird problem out here? I'm gonna roll perception.
Yep.
15.
15. Just before you watched like whatever form just fell from the window, you're looking at one of the plate glass windows of Rock, and where his hair is a dark jet, you see a little blue flame kind of like almost hit the window and then fall to the side.
Does that happen? Oh shit! I walk outside.
You walk outside, Rock and Mike kind of follow you, as does Jillia, because now she's interested too. She's just like, what was that? This day just gets weirder and weirder. I love it.
Crap! Don't be dead! Don't be dead! I walk around searching for a blue fiery bird.
You look, you
Good. I wasn't the last person to realize it.
yeah, that was me. You walk out towards the window where it happened. Mike's kind of just like grabbing you, like, sir, please, we're stepping on the roses.
Terribly sorry. I give them a little spritz of water. Is that better? Sorry, I'll step back. Crap. Investigation.
Yep.
11. Where'd it go?
You look over in the location where the window was. You could see what looks like a small mound of, like, this weird-looking goop that has a small little ember coming out of it. Almost looks like a water weird. If you don't know what that is, I need you to roll a knowledge check.
I will say I definitively don't know what it is. Natural wonders.
All right, so you're looking at what...
Oh, it's a goo.
It looks like blue slime that has a little bit of a purple flame coming off it. It has a small dot in the middle of it, almost looking like it's some kind of nucleus.
I'm gonna touch it.
You touch it, and you touch it, your finger goes into it, you watch as it ebbs around your finger and a little bit away, and it forms a seagull.
It was a lot grosser than I imagined. Do you have a name, little guy, or do I? I'm gonna call you.
Legitimate Larry's! As the beak opens up and it lets out a voice.
I just imagine the beak opens only once, but just legitimate Larry shouts out of it, and
Yep.
it's not moving along with lip
Hey,
flaps,
kid,
let's say.
looks like you finally got what you asked for.
I'm gonna call you Larry Jr. No, Wake Jr. You're my boy now.
All right, son, you're free to do with this as you deem necessary, but let me at least explain this little beauty to you.
Okie dokie.
While this is happening, it's the mouth is just opening and it's not doing anything else. It's like a Pez dispenser. Like
Good.
Kill your cravings at the Circus of Values.
Take it away, legitimate Larry.
This bird can contain one message. You have to tell it what kind of person it's supposed to go to, and they need to be within 3 days of the message being told to it in days of travel. So that means that when you speak a message to this thing, you have to give it a physical description of who the message is going to. It will repeat the same message as you've said to it. However, it will disenchant and it will return back to its original shape and return to you after 72 hours. If it does not give the message within 72 hours of traveling, it will return back to its water weird form.
Okay. So what is your unladen airspeed, just to know how fast?
It takes about 12 hours from here, like let's say from Rite to Ebercall, that's probably going to be 12 to 24 hours.
Okay.
Because remember, this thing is kind of a big target. It lacks in defense, but it gets the message to it.
12 to Ebercall. It's about a... How long is it, like, on a boat trip from here to Ebercall?
Maybe about 6 hours, depending on the ship. A decent ship would be 6 hours.
Man, why are you so slow? All right, let's see. Wake's doing very poor calculations in its head. Intelligence check of 17. If a bird leaving Rite at a speed of bird's top speed.
So basically, this entire like Rite, South Zealous, Ebercall, Bullcard, like and a little bit further, like the same distance from where Rite is to. Think of Ebercall as like the central point. So long as it reaches to Rite, it can fly anywhere within those 3 days.
Okay, so considering this thing made it from Bullcard,
Yeah.
I can assume that that is
At
within
the very
3
least,
days.
it can go to Bulgar.
Yes.
Yeah. So and
From here to Rite, it would be 2.5 days.
yeah, Venin is not much further from Bullcard, so
You're probably like just reaching the max time to
Good.
reach Venin.
I'll work with that. Do you have a more portable form that I can carry you with, Mr. Bird?
It
Wake
returns
Jr.?
back to its goop form.
Okie doke. I'm get a.
Mike kind of just like dangles a small little potion bottle next to your head.
Thank you. I was gonna say I'm out of jars.
Oh no, it does it by itself. Like you hold the jar up to it, just jumps right in. As long as the jar is as big as the nucleus, it could fit in anywhere, almost like an octopus.
Jink. But yeah, I have loss issues.
Well, there you go. You received your bird.
Just kind of wipes the slime off his hands.
Mike just like looks at you like, ugh, uncouth, and like just grabs his handkerchief and like just rubs off your hand.
Is your window okay?
There's a crack in the window.
I know a guy that can fix that if you'd like.
Oh, no need, Jillian says as she like pulls out a small pocket of sand. You watch as she grabs it. It turns into a shard of glass. She puts it against the window and the glass reforms.
Pocket sand.
Yep. As long as she has the natural materials, she can repair stuff.
That is a very handy ability. I am sure we will be in touch in regards to that ability. And
Well, that's great. Thank you. I mean, I hope your captain finds my abilities useful.
I imagine he might if you have the capacity for that on a ship. I think that comes in quite handy.
All right, so at
In
this
the distance, Ezra sneezes.
yeah, at this juncture, I'll say that you just like spend time. Like, is there any like hard pressing questions you'd like to ask Rock or Might at this point?
All of them.
I'll allow you one.
Nothing that wouldn't make him feel like a huge nerd that he already is.
All right, then I'll grant you one.
So in chapter 1, you said that it took 800 years to circumnavigate the planet, but now you're telling me that it takes 12 hours to get from this. The math just doesn't add up. Mr. Mite, would you care to...
Mr. Mite, I just...
If you travel by map,
which birds do. They have fast travel.
How about I slap your shit because it's magic?
It's a magic bird made of goop.
It's a fucking water weird that takes the shape of a seagull. I think science is out the fucking window at this point.
Or is it? Let's get in on this.
Does your planet have an elliptical orbit? Because the seasons alone...
well, see, what you don't realize is you keep assuming this planet's a globe. It's actually a bit of like an oblong egg.
Holy fuck, thank you, someone gets it!
Yeah, it would take only so long to circumnavigate this way, but going the other way, that's like 800 years.
And little do you know that if you pull out into the universe, you actually see that it's not really a globe at all. It's actually a intertwining helix.
It's flat.
Yeah. But the flat thing happens to wrap in on itself. It's circular.
Its orbit continues to collide with this giant meteor, and they keep thinking it's a mountain.
All right, so everyone at home, get on No Man's Sky and start trying to find this universe.
Our planet's a square. It's a big old cube.
All right, so
Yeah.
at this point, we'll say that you finally catch up to the Bards College. You see Eloy conversing with a gnome as he walks out of the library with a scroll.
Hey, Eloy. How'd it
Eloy.
go? How'd it go in there?
Eloy, you watch as Ezra is running towards you. There's like an after image of him. There's like 3 of him running towards you. And now he's in front of you before you even had a chance to speak.
There you are. I've been looking for you.
Just one of them now, or all 3 of
Now
them?
one of them have converged back into one.
There was just more of you.
Oh, you mean I kind of like wave my arm around. I assume that it's also making
The after
images.
image appears, yes.
Like this?
Yes, that's weird. Have you been taking hit? Have I been taking hit?
No, actually. This was one of the people I interviewed. She, I don't know exactly what she did to me, but one of the surgeons I interviewed, she was all about the power of pain, or something was kind of like her mantra. She served the death god, so, I kind of want to talk to Riff about that, see what that's up.
I just met a guy sort of like that.
But, yeah, she talked to me, hurt my back for a second, but then after I stood up, I've been able to move like crazy. Like, I've just been able to zoom around.
Huh, how long does that last?
I don't know. It's still going now, and I finished the interview like what?
45 minutes
45
ago.
minutes ago?
Wow.
So, it's at least lasting out. It seems like the hour, but yeah.
Lasts for 2 hours.
Anyways, how are you going?
Oh, I got my brains mildly scrambled by a man who he had spooky eyes.
Wake just walks up eating ham.
I like.
Oh,
Hey.
hey.
Yeah, I was just telling
Ham?
Mr. Captain Ezra about how you remember that last headmaster that I beat at the last Bards College.
That
Yeah,
was an
you kicked
impressive
his ass.
Yeah, I was. He may not have been a representative sample of what these headmasters are capable of. He might have been like level 1.
Well, he was your first, battle.
Or maybe he was just, you know what? He was probably just taking it easy on me because he knew I was new.
Well, that night,
Pokemon logic. They have set ones for beginners, and as they grow in intermediate, they start getting harder and harder.
it might also be, it was a very musical-focused college. Is this one also musical?
You know what? That's a fair point. They're all about talking. And I do that a lot, but not like magic-wise.
It's true. You haven't been the speak magic into power. Although you have scared some ghosts really bad. That's probably along the same lines.
Rudolph is just sitting there. Oh, I don't mean to be rude, but hi there.
Hello.
Rudolph.
Ezra Lockwood. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Your buddy, I guess this is
and
your
this is
buddy
Wake.
here.
He didn't mean to be rude without also being Dolph.
Ah. You're getting better at it already.
You actually watch as his nose starts bleeding a little bit. You're getting it!
Apparently puns can just do that too, even if they're not insulting. That might be the way in.
It might just be.
I'm Wake.
Jillian's there with you as well.
This is Jillian.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
We met at the hall. She's cool. She you might want to talk to her later. She's good at fixing things.
Jillian. That kind of rustles through his things. Jillian Harvest?
That's me.
Oh, well, nice to meet you. I won't bore you with an interview in this informal setting, but hi.
Oh, nice to meet you. We actually, your friend here actually went to go see the Ashtrakes. I know,
How'd
Rock.
that go?
When it's really, you want some ham?
Is that like ashtray cam?
I mean, it's from the Ashdrake's. I don't know what they made it out of.
So we actually, I like look over at Jill. So he actually got in there?
Of course, I know Rock.
Oh, I've been given the impression that these guys were like really hoity-toity celebrities. Didn't think.
Well, the brothers are. Rock isn't. He's getting it. He actually joined fairly recently in the guild.
Okay. I sample a piece of the ham. How is it?
Oh, it's fucking delicious. It's like
Gee.
like Thanksgiving dinner quality kind of food.
We sure Mite's not applying as a chef, because holy damn.
I think he's exclusively with the Ashdrake.
Who's that little old lady in the bushes?
Grammy, you've got to try this. If anything, it's a new ingredient.
A pistol pops out.
I'm offering.
Is it a flavor gun?
It was a pepper shaker as a gun.
It is a flavor gun.
You know I'm deathly allergic to peppers. That is not canon. Ezra is not deathly allergic to peppers.
So you explain to them that pretty much you got a taste of what's going on here. He explains to you, unless you want to go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's fine. What? I'll Cliff's notes it for you, and you're caught. Boom, you're caught up.
Yeah, Cliff Notes caught up. He has to do a Yo Mama contest against the headmaster.
Well, I gotta say, your logic on Scrum being the insult master of our ship is a good call, but I don't think his insults are kind of the same way they're working here. It is interesting to find out that your lungs are your magic thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, what do I use? I use a flute. I use the bagpipes. I mean, I've got these drums, and I barely ever use them, and I don't think I've ever done magic with them.
I mean, I guess it is the common factor between all of your skills. Huh. Thanks for helping us out on that, Rudolph.
Yeah, no problem. If it's all the same to you, he looks up to the sky. You watch as the sun's kind of like setting. Kind of a long night ahead of me. I kind of got to get back to my studies.
I like basically look at Eloy like, well, it's not my job to dismiss him.
All right, thank you very much for your help, sir.
Best of luck to you. You're gonna need it, you poor sap.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
All right, have a good one. He like walks off, and Jillian looks up to the sky. Oh, geez, it is late. Well, if it isn't too much trouble, I know Mr. Wake here said that you might be looking to hire. If you need someone as a boatswain, I can absolutely do that. Should I show him the trick?
Oh yeah, show him the trick. Hold on. Is there anything nearby? Like that I can-
There's the bush that Grammy came out of.
I meant like something solid.
Oh, something solid. Well, there are a couple of trees around. Like there's a really big one in the center.
I meant something that might need to be fixed.
Like a
Oh,
bench.
to fix. I thought you. I guess you didn't pick up on that. She wanted to know if like she should show the tree walking ability.
Yeah, but Wake is picking up that she wants to show that she can fix something. So Wake's gonna like break a bench or something.
Okay, yeah, there's a bench.
All right, kick. Athletics check 19.
Yeah, there's.
Wait, what the hell are you doing? That
There-
seems like a real nice.
There's a guy. There's an old man sitting there, just like.
I'll go catch him.
Oh,
You show him. Shit, be right back. Athletics
the
check
hell?
to run and catch the man. Modified 21.
Oh, we should probably get a good look at this. We should probably get a good look at this bench and figure out what kind it is. Probably have to replace it.
no need. She looks over. She like, if it's not too much trouble, if you could actually lift one side.
Oh, like this?
Yeah, like you two roll an athletics check.
17. 8.
Eloy's having trouble, but he's like wobbling it up, trying to keep it steady. Jillian is okay with that. You watch as like she reaches her hands down and she grabs both ends of where the broken part of the bench is. You watch as her hands like slowly turn into bark, and the wood starts to come together and actually reforms again.
Wow.
That's neat. I got like a real basic version of that, and boy, I had to study and study and study for weeks to get even that much.
Wake runs back with the old man on his back, Yoda style. Here you are, sir. Set him back down on the bench.
He's hitting you with his cane.
Here you are. I set him down on the bench.
Sits down on the bench. He's fine. He's pacified.
Give him some ham or something at least. Jeez.
All right, I reach into my pocket and hand him ham.
He like looks at it.
It's real good.
You watch as he starts taking a bite out of it. He pulls a mask off. It's a rat folk.
They always get me. Those tricky bastards. Also, I get a lot of head trauma lately. I should probably get that looked at.
That was such an interesting person we just met. I'm gonna call him Macadamia.
He probably has a name, Eloy.
Yeah, Macadamia.
You can't just give names. Oh, our DM has walked away.
We're in charge now. So what are we doing?
So then Jillian gives Ezra a high five and says, "I love you, half-elf man. Please hire me for free to fix everything." And I say, "Sure." Oh, Zito's back. Hey. We were just,
We're now vamping.
Both.
Anyways, Ezra expresses shock and amazement at her skill. Well, I have to make a note of that. You said that you're a boatswain?
Well, yeah, that's what I was hired to do. Back home in Silvergleam, I used to have to fix a lot of things and also tend to the crops. I was a farm girl to take care of most things when the crops weren't working. Again, if you
Lazy crops.
you look at her, she's an Eldrin. She's if you want to roll a knowledge with advantage, you got that.
21.
She is an elf of the seasons.
Okay.
Her body can transform with the seasons.
The seasonal elves. Huh. Haven't really had a chance to meet many of you guys.
Yeah, we kind of keep to ourselves off of the closer to woodlands.
Yeah, I've always been more of a sea guy myself.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I'd certainly hope so.
Hey, when you're a summer elf, do you wear one of those half shirts? You know, a crop top?
She waggles her
Her
finger at
ears
you.
start bleeding.
Yeah. She starts bleeding sap out of her ears.
We're too close to the source of power.
He's become too strong.
Oh, sorry about that. I'll take care of that. Healing word.
She again looks up to the sky. Well, it was very nice meeting you, and please, you saw what I could do. There are lots of other things I could do, but it's probably best not to speak about that outside of work.
Definitely. Just, thank you. Definitely gonna make a little note of this.
Well, you all have a great night. Best of luck in your job search.
Thank you. You too, and on the small chance this doesn't work out. Just kind of nods.
Well, there's always a chance. There's always jobs. That's why I love this place. She just runs off. All right. Well, it is now close to dusk as you guys are near the Bards College.
Well, Eloy, do you have any more business here?
No, I think I got to train up real hard before I'm ready to come back here.
Wake, I'm assuming since you're here, you finished what you were doing?
Yeah, and I ate all my pocket ham.
Well, all right. We can start heading back to the group, and I can tell you all the people I met during the interviews today, and give me some insight on what you think of them.
Yeah, did Relieve ever get us our, stuff?
Relief says that he gave it to Onslow, so we need to ask him.
He's been walking around in that tiger suit. Maybe some of that is ours.
Very possible.
No, he is not.
But Wake thinks he has been.
Speaking of Relief, so I had some thoughts while interviewing him. He said that he would be able to fix, he could repair boats. He would need kind of like a blueprint or an idea of what to do. He can't just go off of memory and just immediately fix it. He can gather the materials and piece them together, but he would like some guidance on proper boat repair. So that seemed a tad questionable. On top of that, he seems to be a man who's kind of barely living as far as financially. So he charged kind of a high price. He would be charging 500 gold a week for his talents. And while his clothier abilities and he also has some poison saliva that he can easily add to weapons, giving them a poisonous edge. That seems very useful, but 500 a week for a guy who already didn't seem super confident in his boat repairing abilities. That being his primary job seemed a little questionable to me.
I mean, I don't know anything about repairing boats. I don't know how much a skill like that costs. I mean, obviously, if we catch a leak or something, I could always just jump in the water and try to find it myself.
Well, I'm going to say that I don't know exactly her knowledge on boats, but Jillian's ability to just, mend things like that seems really, really good and like what we're already used to.
That seems familiar.
which would be comfortable. Relieve seems like a good guy, and I'd love to help him out, but I don't know with the crew we're putting together and with her as an available option. I'll have to see how much she charges, etc. And she mentioned other skills.
And to be frank, we aren't exactly sure he can handle himself in a fight since those tigers seem to have given him a run for his money.
Yeah, I appreciate the poison edge he seems to be able to add to stuff, and he seemed confident in some combative skills, but I'm not sure on it. The real big question marks were the 2 surgeons I interviewed.
And what were they like?
While you guys are walking, you're heading back over to the guild hall. You feel it's dinner time. There is an option to go back into the district to just find some other place to eat. You might be able to find some other people, maybe to talk to outside of the townhomes where Risp and Pliskin are. You could catch back people in the guild hall, so it's either you could return back home or you could head to the marketplace or head to the guild hall to see if you want to catch anyone else.
Is there a apothecary nearby? Because there is an errand that Wake has been meaning to run.
That'd be back in the marketplace.
Okay.
Well, if he suggests going there, Ezra at this moment doesn't have any particular goal in mind. He's like, we could get the group back together. We should probably start making an earnest effort to make sure everything's off of Yeldon and making preps for that. But if you have something to do that you are
just a little something that's been bubbling in the old brain.
At that point, you probably want to head over to the market district.
Yeah. Then Ezra would be like, sure, yeah, let's go that way. Yep. Assuming Wake would bring it up.
Continue on with that. Just explain to these guys because
actually this is something that Ezra reminded him of by speaking about one of the people. So
okay.
Yeah, so let's actually continue this conversation. I want to hear this out.
Yeah. After that, I'll go ahead and jump ahead to the surgeons. Vars Metellus showed up. Now, he said that his original calling was in plastic surgery, which at first was kind of against what I was looking for in a surgeon, where I was looking for kind of a more medic role.
I'm also not a huge fan of plastic. Chokes a lot of my people.
But it keeps those 6-packs together so well.
It really does.
You can make them out of cardboard is all I'm saying.
You watch as 6 ducks walk by.
They get it.
But he... Now look, I am a thief and swindler by trade. It's not something that I've hidden from any of you guys.
I never would have picked that up.
But this guy felt shady as fuck when talking to him. His words just seemed dipped in double meaning, and like he was always trying to hawk and sell me something. Now, I get that during an interview, you want to put your best face forward, and you want to really impress the people you're talking to, but I couldn't just shake the feeling of this guy was just trying to sell me something. He told me a story about how he used to...
did he even have the word legitimate in his name?
He did not. It was noticeably absent.
And that man keeps his word. Holds up a little jar of blue goo.
What is that?
A little something from our friend Larry.
You know what? If
its name is Wake Jr. I named it.
See? You can totally give out names. That's allowed.
I mean, I guess we're already thinking about this whole hit operation. So, if the cops find you on that, just tell them I don't know what it is. But so this Metellus guy, he would tell me stories about how he would sew extra fingers onto people and tell them they're cursed, and use his surgical wiles to get it off of them for a great price.
Man, imagine the shit he didn't tell you.
Exactly, and that kind of made me a little nervous about the guy. He might be skilled, and also when the topic of combat and battle readiness came up, he was very I used to be part of a 2-man team, and the other guy was the muscle. So that leads me to believe that in a fight we probably can't count on him. So
he's also a surgeon, so I got to imagine you don't want him on the front lines anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'd be throwing him into battle, but with the way our lives have been, I feel like everyone should be at least ready.
Defensible.
Yes, and he didn't give me that impression. He had a knife, but seemed very, a surgical knife, not a weapon. The other guy I talked to, or the other person I talked to, Frita Kasimar, she was a bit of a masochist in that she really loves to use pain in her medicine.
Okay, since you explained it, I'm not.
Yeah. Now, it's probably worn off by now, but I was zipping around pretty quick earlier. In order to achieve that, she kind of did this she said something to me and I felt something really painful pop in my spine. But then for the next while after that, I could move super limberly. So honestly, her skills seem to work. Just seems to come at the price of it's going to hurt you to make it work.
It's gonna hurt before it gets better.
Yes. And if our problem is, oh no, that, monster might have taken a part of my face off with its claws, if she's going to say, well, this is going to hurt and then it's going to feel better, I don't know how helpful that's going to be in the moment, especially if we can just have,
If you already have half your face taken off, I don't know how much more it can hurt.
See, that's my fear, is it's going to hurt a lot to make it stop hurting. I don't know exactly how our powers work, but it seems like it's a bit of a give and take, and that could be questionable. She also worships the god of death, and, everyone's free to worship who they want. Risk worships everyone, but if we're going to be fighting vampires and things that seem to be under the guise or under the umbrella of the god of death, I don't know exactly how much of her heart's going to be in it versus if we're going against things that she worships.
So
I don't know how that stuff works. My religion check was bad.
I mean, on the flip side, feels like the god of death might be a bit sore at us at the moment. Might not
Also
be-
possible.
Might not be bad having somebody around who's in his good graces.
That's a fair point.
All this talk of the god of death just keeps reminding Wake of the symbol he found on Gulfer. Although, was it the god of death or the god of darkness that he worshipped?
It was the god of darkness.
Okay. Still reminds him of Gulfer just because he's fucking dead, but...
But she also, and this is just a personal note, for a doctor, I feel like she has terrible bedside manner. So if someone's feeling bad, she's not going to make them, feel at ease about their condition, it seems.
I will throw this out there. I'm not much of a religious man either, but if I were to say, if I were related to the god of death in any way, I'd probably hate vampires too.
That's
because,
fair.
They kind of are the opposite of what you're going for.
She did mention that things that couldn't feel physical pain or feel the threat of death were kind of a blight in her eyes. So,
Yeah,
so definitely it would be helpful. Just one of those things where I wasn't entirely sure. And then now Mr. Large, I'm a fan of, and I definitely think has a place on our boat. Now that man, very tall, sitting down was reaching the ceiling. Was an impressive specimen. This bugbear.
Couldn't see his face.
Will he fit?
He seemed very sure that would not be an issue, because also couldn't hear this man approach or leave. He was like I'm a stealth expert, I am willing to say, despite the number of times I've been caught. I would say I know my way around stealth. This guy, completely different level, like a ghost, and he would say that is not the first time he's been told such. However, also cannot speak common. He can understand it and he can write it, but he cannot vocalize it. He does, however, speak Goblin, which I feel like would be nice for Scrum to have.
If he plans on sticking around with us.
Very true. And also just something for us to be able to, communicate with. He made it very clear that he could, use writing. He could hear us and be fine. What else did I write here? So the reason he was so quiet, or rather something that his stealthy skills had come in handy with, is he and his family were former slaves, and he had used their stealthy powers to escape.
Did he say where he came from?
I didn't ask that, and that was going to be my question for if he joined us. We could definitely get some insight on some slave trade. So I definitely found that as a very useful note. If we don't end up hiring, it's still something we can ask him about, just on a personal
all
level.
interviews, most people don't give you all the information. They just give you some that you want to hear.
Yeah.
Now,
Follow-up
speaking of
question.
information I want to hear,
Yeah.
at any point did you ask any of these people if they are in fact a disguised
I
dragon?
was about to ask how many of them are dragons.
I brought it up when it seemed important, with a deception of 15.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Insight.
Natural 20. I don't think he asked Eloy.
No, I'm pretty sure he did. Natural wonders.
Wow. You know, it only would have been better if you rolled a 10, I think.
Yeah, if I could
Just
just
get the
fall,
whole spectrum.
fall right in the middle.
All right. But Wake just kind of like looks at you like, you didn't fucking ask.
That said, while I didn't interview them, some people brought up some stuff about some other people we might have heard about that might be worth noting. Pavlos of Venus Cyclaris, the Minotaur, he seems to be cursed, according to Relieve. Relieve seemed very certain he had seen it firsthand and heard rumors that just being around this guy brings unease to everybody and has seemed to have brought nothing but bad luck to every ship he's been on.
Sounds like a good idea to leave him be then.
Yep, I was gonna say. I have a feeling we're just gonna skip that name then if it comes up later. The other thing I heard is that the bard Montgomery Bout seems to be able to really hold his own in a fight. Didn't hear much about his bard skills, but would be capable if we were looking for someone just to add some muscle to our ranks.
I'm pretty sure we got muscle for the most part covered, and we got song covered.
I agree. But yeah, other than that, those were the people I interviewed, and man, we got some choices.
Call me weird, but for some reason I like the sound of Pain Lady.
I'm not fully against her. Again, the speed boost I got after our conversation was really helpful and effective. And if that's something she could just do, certainly not a deal breaker with the whole pain and death god thing. It was just a concern. She does charge 500 gold a week as well, which is on the higher end of the rates I have seen previously. But with those kinds of results, I'm not entirely surprised.
Just need to make sure that whatever we're going to do pays off more than what they asked for.
Yep, that is a
Eloy, I need you to roll me a perception check.
Ooh, 25.
All right. While these two are discussing this, you look off to the side and you actually notice that Nedra is off in the corner and she's looking down an alleyway as if she's trying to chase down something.
Oh, hi, Nedra.
Huh?
She does not answer you. She just goes down the alleyway.
Well, where was Nedra?
I'm going to see if I could
Yeah,
see
she
him
went
when
down
he yelled
that-
at her. Or
She
yelled
went
to
down
her.
this way. Hey, let's...
24 in my perception. Did I see her when he?
You saw a tip of her tail before she disappeared into the alleyway.
All right.
Yeah,
Wake,
I think I saw her that way.
Wake starts booking at full speed. That's an 80 movement speed.
Slightly faster, but than Eloy, but he will also move in that direction.
All right.
In fact, you know what? I'll go ahead and double my movement speed by using Step of the Wind.
You really want to get to her. I just kind of like, oh yeah, let's go that way, and then you guys just zoom. I'm like, all right, I'll follow you.
Yeah, Wake leaves like a Sonic the Hedgehog-esque trail of dust.
All right.
Like he may as well have just Naruto Shutter Step. Just
All right. With that, since you decided to make yourself the fastest target, you go down the alleyway.
the fastest target. I love the choice of words.
Yep. Well,
Fastest player, person, individual,
you
target.
know.
He's the fastest fish alive. Go ahead.
You head down the alleyway. You're in a small little cobblestone area. This is like a little spot that's like probably like the trash district or like the area where like people like put their trash out in the back. There's like one shop side to the other and one shop side on the other side. There's a couple of catwalks that kind of lead up in case there was a fire emergency. You go down the alleyway. You're seeing Nedra chasing after something that looks like a cat. You can't really tell because she's too big and she kind of takes up most of the space. However, her form disappears into the alleyway as it looks like she's making a sharp turn. You're about to reach that side. With your run speed, you can make it absolutely just fine.
Yeah, I like I basically do the Akira motorcycle turn just on the ground.
Yeah, but your feet kind of trip over something.
Shit.
As you hit that turn, you have hit that turn. That turn was completely fine. However, when you go to make that turn, your heel hits into something and you almost feel like your entire shifting side of your body hits a wall.
No.
You don't hurt yourself, but you just like hit into a wall, but you're 5 feet away from the corner of the turn.
Ow. Nedra!
Nedra does not respond.
All right, I am going to. You say, how wide is this alleyway?
It
on
is
each side of me.
30 feet. It's 3 squares.
All right, so I am not going to be Jackie Chan kicking my way up this wall. Unless I'm really, really good.
I apologize. It is 30 feet, so that's 6 squares.
Yeah, that's too many. I do not have my wall run ability yet. I don't think. No, I don't.
Well, again, you are standing in front of what looks like empty space, but you're feeling a wall as you put your hand out to it.
Does this wall feel magical, or does it feel like, like a stone wall?
That would have to be an Arcana check. An Arcana or an Investigation check if you're choosing.
I think I'm equal on both of those.
Well, which one do you want to do so I can tell?
Sure. It's a 20, and I guess I'll go with Arcana since...
Arcana? You kind of, put your hand in front of it, and you see that your finger kind of, makes, this small little ripple, but it feels solid as if it's stone.
And this tells me...
This tells you that this is an illusion.
It's an illusion? Haha! Then I'm walking right through it. The wall's an illusion.
You walk right into the wall.
Okay, so the fake space is an illusion.
Yes.
Can I deter from that, or can I infer from that Nedra was also an illusion? Or is that unclear?
That was unclear.
Okay, well... I'm gonna fist this wall.
All right, roll an athletics check as you're catching up as well. Now, you see Wake standing in front of a corner.
23.
Since he's worried about punching it right this second, you punch it. It doesn't go anywhere, but you do see that small little bit of ripple. I need you to roll me a perception check.
Wait, it doesn't seeing that it's an illusion make the illusion go away for me?
Nope.
And that's a really fucked up illusion. Wow.
Natural 1.
You run right into it. So now a big ripple hits the wall as Eloy smacks into the wall for 5 points of damage and hits the floor Family Guy style.
Oh, watch out. It's a wall.
I'm learning that.
I kind of casually jog up.
Yeah, since you're catching in last, you see them kind of playing with. They're now standing in front of what looks like a corner, the corner of the wall that they're looking at, and they're trying to reach for. They're standing in front of it, and now it's making little bits of waves. There's some kind of veil or blanket over in front of them.
All right. Wake begins charging up his fist, just okay, stand back.
Guys, something seems weird about this alley.
I cast Shatter on this space in front of me.
Okay.
After stepping back so that I am not directly in it.
All right. What is the? Just explain that real quick for those at home.
Shatter, for those that are unaware, basically in a 10-foot radius sphere, I deal 3d8 sonic or thunder damage, and if it is able to, it must make a Constitution save. I do believe any inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on the saving throw if it's conscious.
All right. Well, you punch it so hard that you watch as your shockwave kind of ripples through, and the veil that was making that ripple kind of tears apart from the center of where you focus punched it. You don't have to roll damage.
Oh, okay, cool.
You don't have to roll damage. You watch as the veil kind of turns into glass and shatters, and you're now standing in front of a wall with a huge dent in it now.
Ha! Fucked that thing up.
Yep, you pretty much just punched what looks like the end of the alleyway.
Okay.
Nedra!
Through that, though.
You didn't see that. You caught up just as before he reached that.
This is very weird, but I don't see Nedra at all. I saw her turn. She looks like she was chasing a small animal.
Yeah, that's what I saw, and it looked like she went down this alley that doesn't actually exist.
Is there... I'm going to check this wall, see if there's any hidden doorways or
That would be an investigation check.
All right. 14.
I'll assist. With a 10.
No, it's just the end of the alleyway. There's trash cans and everything all along the side. There's just miscellaneous garbage, some bottles of liquor strewn about. There's a couple of rats that run back and forth.
Hey, have you guys seen Nedra?
I mean,
Sweet, 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 sweet.
I don't know
Have you
what
seen
this are.
macadamia?
well, is it? I mean, I didn't get a good look at Nedra when she turned. Are we sure she was actually here? If they could make an illusion this,
I mean, you were the one that said
elaborate.
it. Oh wait, Eloy, you were the one that saw her, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Nedra, but if there's illusions afoot, I mean, how do I know you're real?
that's a fair point. Ask me something only I would know.
Are you a secret dragon?
No.
You win this round.
But that is a good question. And only I would probably recognize that as a good question, other than the other two here in Gore.
I think everybody would know that's a good question.
All right. I need everyone to roll me a acrobatics check. I mean, I'm sorry, I apologize. That is not an acrobatics check. It is a DC save check.
Oh, jeez.
A
Dex save?
deck save.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. My ring goes off because I rolled a nat 1. So I failed, but then I succeed because I have a ring. It makes it so that I don't fail. Ultra Instinct Wake!
He also has a gun, and only he can hold it, and only he can shoot it. I got a
I
16.
found this. The unicorns let me have it.
Modified 20.
Modified 20.
16.
16. All right.
And succeed.
Yep. Base save.
All right. You guys turn around and you know, like, you feel something like kind of like a small gust of wind kind of like push against the backsides of you. You turn around and you watch as there's like some kind of wave that almost looks like it's like scampering mass coming towards you.
That's probably not good. I'm a jump.
Well, you don't have to worry because it kind of like makes like this kind of wave and it falls down before you as the wave now makes form of these really, really weird looking rats as they kind of like try to jump and lash at you. Everyone pretty much succeeds their save, but they are not going to take full damage, just only bits and pieces of it. As the rats kind of just like gnaw and gash at you, they look ethereal. They almost look like they're not real.
It's like hundreds and thousands of little macadamias.
Everyone is taking... Oh, geez. All right. Well, everyone's taking 6, 7, 8 points of damage. You almost felt like these like you could grab these creatures and throw them off, and you're able to fend them off enough that you're fast enough to get them that their claws are the only thing that's hurting you. They look like they were trying to inject something into you with their bite.
Stop it.
Would my I saw these things coming when we turned around, right? So my uncanny dodge would let me avoid some of that damage?
Yes.
Okay.
You can cut this in half if you wish.
Cool.
Basically, the save was also to make sure you guys don't get infected, whatever they're doing.
Neat.
So while this is happening, you watch as the rats kind of part ways, and there are forms standing in the where you came from, and it's complete darkness from where they're standing. They look like they're shrouded figures. They remove their hoods, and they appear as though you almost look at them. The moment you see them, you think they look like Frita in a way. They're gray elves. Or in some way they look like gray elves, but then you look at them, they look too malnourished even for a gray elf themselves.
Okay.
They kind of look at you, their eyes glow red, and they open their mouths letting out a gaping hiss, and that's where we'll stop the session for now.
Who are you? Where's Nedra? And how the fuck do I get to that apothecary?
And we will start next session with combat.
All right.
Spoopy stuff.
And I've blown over half my key already.
Oh no! You really wanted to catch up?
I did, and then I really wanted to break that fake wall.
Hey, probably not Amer. Thanks for the dice, my man.
Oh, nice.
Right on.
I've been using them for this session. These are really good dice, skull splitters.
But we ain't done here, folks.
Hey.
We got art, assuming you guys set it up.
I set it up. You could start from the beginning, and you'll see them as we go along.
Excellent, perfect, wonderful. Let me pull up the art so that I can call this out and
Yeah, you
properly credit
You
the
could start.
people.
Yeah, you could start from the top and just work your way down, and you'll see them.
All right. I did retweet some this morning. Did you start with that batch or?
You did it just as I finished.
Excellent. So I'll have to scroll a little further because number 1 up here we have. Gonna go find that one.
That's a good one. I like it.
I do recall retweeting this one, I believe, last night. This is by Sardines Silence. We got a bloater shark.
An attempt of a bloater fish, and you know what? I've never actually attempted to make a bloater fish look like a shark, and I love this.
Thank you so much, Sardines Silent.
I love that bloater fish are now just becoming more and more varied in their subspecies.
I love his little, like, his one fang.
I'm gonna get you.
I'll bite you.
I have 2 rows of this fang.
Just the one.
Yeah. Next up. Ooh, we got Soup,
Soup
Kitchen
Kitchen.
here, and I recognize that art style anywhere. That's our boy Scrap Paper, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, Scrap Paper 22. Let me scroll down and find it so that I can keep up with where we're at on here. Oh, it's a bit of a... Wait, why did it just refresh this whole thing? God damn it.
Ah.
Internet.
Don't you
Twitter,
love
stop
Twitter's
updating
app?
on your goddamn app. There we go.
I can assist
Scrap
this-
Paper 22. Thank you so much, dude. God, he looks like a Cyberman from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Except like it has like a turtle beak instead of that weird like Ultron mouth.
There are no strings on my soup.
I love that reboot the chef.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
I like to think that now that I see that, I'm like, is there a power button in the back of his head?
Thank you so much, Scrap Paper 22. Next up.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one was actually above this one, but that's
Oh, I'm
Caitlin
sorry.
C37 with Gentle.
I love Gentle's design. I wish she didn't seem very against anything Ezra is looking for a crew member, because she seems interesting, but just in character, he has no motivation whatsoever to even interview her.
Yeah, everything we've heard about Gentle is just like, avoid this person, please. Yeah, we'll deal with that.
Like, if I end up interviewing her, that's me somewhere metagaming finding a reason.
Yeah,
Because as of right now, he's just like, no, not even close to getting on my boat. But as an outside player, I'm like, I love that design and find her very, very interesting.
Hey, just because you don't hire them now doesn't mean they're not around afterwards.
Very true.
It's true. They'll be around causing all sorts of atrocities.
Whoever you leave behind with them, they'll just pal around with them. They live here now.
That's why Nedra sticks with Wake. Not only did Wake promise that he wouldn't leave her, he's making sure that shit don't happen.
Here comes Gentle. She's mine now.
Wake would actually fight her. Wake would not stand by on that. But thank you so much, Caitlin C37, who's also been doing some wonderful art for me over on Roll With Me. Yeah, I've kind of commissioned her as primary artist for a lot of the characters.
I will assist you in this since I set this up.
No worries. Next up, we got here by, wow, their name is covered up by the app, at just_call_me_h_. Thank you so much for this. Gentle, is that a 3D render?
It's a 3D render.
Wow, look at that.
That looks cool.
It's so cool.
It's very, not necessarily Sithish, although, yes, I could definitely see that. I was going to say it's very, what was the blue race in Mass Effect? Asari?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is a very Asari sort of matriarch getup.
Yeah.
I could get that.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Good stuff. Just_call_me_h_.
All these 3D artists making all these characters, I'm just like, please hit me up so I can put these on Skyrim and play them. Please?
Good stuff. Thank you so much. Next up, by Marvel Poison, we have Nedra and Gentle. I just love how giant Nedra is.
I love this too.
I love Marvel Poison's art style for Nedra just because she looks so fucking big. It's adorable. Death, destruction, tell more.
And then I snapped his spine in two.
And I sucked out the marrow.
And the other hamburger was also made out of his lungs.
Thank you so much, Marvel Poison. Next up,
Caesar
gonna scroll
Morales.
down by Caesar Morales. We have a cute little Ducky and Nedra.
Oh, poor Bill. Also, I love that everyone believes that Bill's name is his first name. No, Magic can be a first name.
Okay.
Magic Bill. Bill is his nickname.
Like Wilhelm was the I figured it was like Magic
Well,
Wilhelm.
I'll be damned. No, that's the case.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
I was gonna say I thought the magic was in quote. Nope.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Bill that's in quotations.
Yeah.
Magic is his first name.
Hey, duck guy, we're gonna call you Bill. Hey, Bill, how you doing, Bill? You know I can do magic. That's great, Bill.
My name's Magic Bill Wilhelm. I specialize in archery.
His parents kind of just set him on a path with that name.
Thank you so much, Caesar Morales, aka Ziga Exeron.
I'm so happy that people are doing their research on the race of duck that I told them that he
Yeah.
was. I'm
You
so happy about
specified.
that.
Next up, by Scandrenin
God.
01. Wake has feelings. Might be a little too late for today's stream, but here's the worst end possible for Wake if you leave Nedra behind. Yeah, a little thing that Wake tries to avoid, you know, not letting his.
And there's Gentle. Why does everyone think I'm so mean?
I'm not mean. People around me are mean.
Yep.
You people make me this way.
That's terrifying. Thank you so much, Scandrenin01. Next up. Got some more Ducky Boy. This one by Natch Cat.
Again, Natch Cat was my bigger influence on what this guy's deal was about. It was just like, I need a character that's an Aarakocra. And she goes, what about a magic duck? And I'm like, oh, yes!
So good to have the source material.
Boom.
Thank you so much. Next up.
Whoa.
This is a work in progress, mind
Yeah,
you.
we looked at this one on Friday. Good looking Nedra here by at Keziah Smith 111. That's KEZIAH Smith 111 on Twitter. Man, I just love the aura, and I think my favorite thing is actually the little headpiece up
Yeah,
top.
the flag.
That looks real cool.
Yeah, with like the Lockwood sigil on there. And then I even like the inclusion of the 4-star logo.
Yeah, I was
down,
about
like
to say
a bit of the 4-star Ouroboros down there on the bottom there.
I can't wait to see this complete.
It's gonna be awesome. Thank you kindly, Keziah Smith 111. Next up. Ooh yeah. The Saturday morning verse Gentle.
Yep.
Sorry. I for some reason in my brain
We get Woe and Gentle mixed up.
And I don't know. I think it's because they were introduced so close together. They're both blue and they're both like single emotion names, sort of.
Yeah. You know, I will say this. I do, like, it's a very common trope that I do. I like to make names as adjectives
Yeah.
or like emotions or
I think
something.
it can definitely work.
I've noticed one thing that I found whenever I'm naming a fictional character, it always becomes very whimsical for me. Like I always make very whimsical, what the fuck kind of a name is that kind of names.
Hey, man, it's all about the mystery.
Just throw those syllables together.
Yes, mostly Fun Stuff Arts or at MFS Arts on Twitter. Always does amazing work. I love their color work and their shading. It's fantastic.
There's more to this piece. It's more of like a description.
Oh yeah.
of the
There's another slide over on the Twitter post.
We just don't have it on here because it's all text and this will not read.
Yeah, it is. First of all, it's impossible to read on the phone. But if you got it on if you're not following them on Twitter and you love art, you should follow them on
Definitely
Twitter.
should, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because they post some amazing things and they give a lot of details in like a secondary post. It is incredible. Thank you so much. I always
Feels like
look
you get
forward.
the commentary track to their picture.
Yeah, I always look forward to every time they post. And do we have one more? Two more. All right. Next up. Yeah.
This is a very common scene, and you know what? I'm very happy that this is a very common scene.
Just Nedra talking to Gentle about. What? So you did? Oh, I just love the sparkles around her face. This again by Caesar Morales, by the way.
Yep.
Ziga Exeron.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't really let Nedra talk to someone who is just like unabashedly like sadistic. He's like, yeah, no, this is just what I do.
And that's when I forced him to eat the sun.
How'd you get a son underwater?
No, not the son. His
Their
son.
No. Who who I just so happened to turn into a ball of fire.
I made him into a ball of fire.
So he got to eat the sun both ways.
See, death is very poetic in a way.
And last and certainly not least, thank you again, Caesar Morales. Yes, we have a piece of a series here by Devious Shadow.
The
beginning of a F is for friends who do stuff together, but it's Gentle's version. F is for fire that burns down the whole town. U is for uranium bombs. N is for no survivors. When you... Gentle, that's not what... those things aren't what fun is about.
Big shout
And
out
it's,
to shout out to Devious Shadow because he is the original creator of the physical design of Nedra.
Oh, nice.
That I
awesome.
adopted. So big props to this man. The outfit was done by I believe Marvel Poison, and the actual design of the character itself, Devious had a hand in that.
Nice.
It is fantastic. Thank you guys all so much for your incredible submissions, and we'll be looking at more of them, of course, on Fridays for Fan Art Fridays. Thank you so much for joining us here at the table, guys. We love having you on board with us, and we'll see you guys next time at the table.